And here we go.
In 5, 4, 3.
Call to me, lands far away.
Elves have forests to protect.
We need to build a wall.
Dwarfs their mines. Men their fields of grain. But we Harfoots have each other.
For I must now wander this wandering day.
We're safe.
You have fought long enough, Galadriel.
No.
Put up your sword.
The enemy is still out there. The question now is where?
It is over.
Nothing is over! Nothing! You were the chosen one! It was said that you would destroy the Sith, not join them!
If you only knew the power of the dark side.
Darkness will march over the face of the earth. It will be the end, not just of our people, but all peoples.
Everyone!
I am sorry, but their time has come.
The past is with us all. The past is dead. We either move forward or we die with it.
This could be the beginning of a new era.
Away I must wander this wandering day.
To him finally being lionized in the prime, and his prime. Fuck.
Do it!
Shit.
Just do it! Don't let your dreams end. Yesterday, you said tomorrow. So just do it! Make your dreams come true!
Luke went from being... Oh, no. Welcome, Slayer Nation. I have some great news for you today. I hope you're all doing great. Nope, that didn't work. One more.
You have failed me for the last time.
Welcome, Slayer Nation. I hope...
If you're tired of starting over, stop giving up.
That is eating away at what you love in order for it to shine. And one man's vision is... Sometimes you don't have to make things better for them to be great again. You merely have to Okay. Hollywood continues to slow boil the culture and crazy. Well, right now, Spider-Man actor Andrew Garfield has stepped up and he's fighting motherfucker.
I can't do it. Okay. We'll do it live. Okay. We'll do it live. Fuck it.
And unbearded dwarves, but Prime didn't stop there. They stapled in intersectionality, individuality, biddiga-dig-bee, biddiga-dig-boo.
So it begins.
At my signal, unleash hell.
Ladies and gentlemen, George the Giant Slayer.
Hello, everybody. It's George Molho on Slayer Nation Live. I'm your host, and it's good to be back. It's Sunday, September 28th, 2025, in the year of our Lord. You know, we've had a crazy time these last 18 days. I was going to talk as we start to slowly get back into discussing the culture, how Hollywood has been targeting America so they could control the present in order to rule the future. We're going to talk about what happened with Disney and bringing Kimmel back, the way you have them reporting the Mouse House is saying that they've won. And of course, if you live on MSNBC and not on planet Earth, you'd hear the same thing. But in my opinion, they've actually lost. They caught themselves in a catch-22. They either bring Jimmy back and keep all 225,000 of their left-wing radical viewers who want to get fed red meat every night, or they don't. And conservatives, traditional American, most moderates who aren't feeble-minded will never turn in because they don't trust them. Then you also have Disney's Tron. We got Spaceball 2. My Schwartz is bigger than you. They started filming. Plus, Marvel's Doomsday supposedly has finished shooting in the UK. We had all this to discuss, and we're still going to. Plus, Charlie Kirk and how his mission continues, and how Erica, his widow, is now carrying them forward. But we just had breaking news over the last couple of hours, and I want to get into that first. It seems like we have another Sunday where another church was attacked, this time in Michigan. You had a madman, of course, we know where they come from and who programs them to be radicalized with their rhetoric. We had a madman drive his truck into a church. He had IEDs in the back of the pickup, which were found. He shot people. There were supposedly anywhere between 8 to 10 people injured. A little girl was shot in the back, and the police put him down. This is the 4th attack on a church in 2 months. We've had synagogues attacked. We've had churches attacked. Yet no one seems to really be reporting on this unless you tune in to like Benny Johnson or Megyn Kelly. But go to CNN and it's just like, oh, a church was attacked. You find it odd that over the last 18 days, since Charlie Kirk changed the world when he was taken from us, that churches, attendance, at temples, synagogues, at every house of worship has doubled to quadrupled. And all of a sudden, out of the blue, you get one more time a lunatic who decides to take matters into his own hands. They want to scare you away from your God. This is an attack on Christianity. So I want to get everybody out here so we can get into this, and then we'll move forward with the show. Verbal, how you doing, my friend?
I am exhausted, man. I've been at Comic-Con all day yesterday, and I'm starting to realize in my old age, man, I can't do the con circuit like I used to. I can't do the full 3 days anymore. I can only do 1 day, and I'm good.
I think you can. Come on, you just got to believe. I was just telling this to a friend of mine the other night, and I was saying, 50s, aren't they the new 30s?
I mean, don't get me wrong. Had a great time. Me and Anna, that Star Wars girl, hung out all day and just basically trolled a bunch of panels.
I saw. We're going to talk about that. I pulled the clips and the roster for the insane panels that they were holding, and the fact that, of course, we had our good friend Chris Gore, who was for the 3rd year in a row, right?
Yep,
he was
blacklisted
for his panel.
and banned. But yeah, it's just wild, man. It's crazy to see that. You know what's funny, man, is I remember in the 90s, 80s, it wasn't cool being a geek, man. It wasn't cool being a nerd at all. If you said you like Star Wars, that was like girl repellent. You know what I mean? It's like no woman wanted to touch you if you were into this stuff, right?
100%.
Now we're at a point where our fandom has been hijacked by these pretenders, right? Where they don't want real geeks anymore going to these things. They want people who are all about their ideologies, and it's just a messed up situation. And I really believe that the con circuit is starting to die because of it. So,
well, it's like I think it's just part of, again, this whole culture war that's going on. And
yeah, we need our own cons. I've been saying this for the last couple of years.
But we're
we
gonna
need to make our own cons. We need to just do our own thing, and we'll be fine. We can, have our own guests, our own panelists. Chris Gore's like his Hollywood, or excuse me, his independent film panels are great. You get to meet actual filmmakers if you're interested in filmmaking that have a lot of stories, wealth of knowledge, different.
But also D, like they Chris Film Threat packs the rooms.
Yeah, they do.
They pack the rooms, dude. Like we looked at some of these panels. It's like 2 or 3 people in there, man.
Right. Yeah.
That they replaced us with.
Guys. 1 second, guys. Let's put a pin in that one because I want to have this conversation.
Okay. Yeah.
But I want to first talk about the breaking news because it happened a couple of hours ago, and I think it's important because it's another Sunday where once again we have a church is under attack, where Christianity, again, people who believe in religion and have faith in Christ, are under attack. Again, whether you're Christian or Jewish, there is a systemic targeting of those of faith. And I think now it's on purpose to pull people, to scare them away from churches. This is what's going on. During a Sunday afternoon press conference, police said the Michigan church attacker drove a vehicle into the church building, opened fire, and was shot dead by officers. Breitbart News had reported the shooter was down and that the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints in Grand Blanc was ablaze. During the press conference, Grand Blanc Township Police indicated the attacker rammed the vehicle through the front door of the church, then got out of the vehicle and began shooting. A church service was taking place. There were hundreds of people in the church at the time of the attack. I just think I want to share. We only have one woman's account so far, and Benny Johnson has the clip here. I want y'all to see it. She was describing it.
Scene of a giant fire happening at a church in Grand Blanc, Michigan. I talked to someone who just got here from South America. It's his first week in the U.S. Went to church with his mom. His mom is still in the building and he got out. From what I'm hearing on the ground, a man drove his vehicle into the church and then started shooting and even shot a little girl in the back, and she is at the hospital right now. The shooter has been neutralized, but that's all I know at the moment. Everyone within a 30-minute radius has responded to the scene.
And there you have it. That's what's going on. Now the church is ablaze because they think the guy lit it on fire, and he had IEDs they found in his truck.
So we don't know. They haven't said the identity of the guy yet, right?
Not yet. They just had the police officer. I think it was the chief. Just came out. Hold on.
Because here's the thing. I don't want to speculate because I don't. I think we do that too much now, where we just assume things without getting all the evidence first. But sadly, we can probably guess what this person is.
We could, and I don't want to speculate. I'm just find it odd that in 2 months we've had 4 attacks on churches, and I think it's not a coincidence, at least the way I view it, that since Charlie Kirk was killed, that everybody started packing back into church services. There's been kind of a revival. I think we could all agree on that.
Yeah.
But all of a sudden this happens. I don't know. It's just.
During this incident, what we know right now is that a 40-year-old suspect from Burton, he's a male. He drove his vehicle through the front doors of the church. He then exited his vehicle, firing several rounds at individuals within the church. 10 gunshot victims have been transported to local hospitals at this time, including one who has been deceased. Officers who were trained immediately responded to the area. One was a DNR officer, and then one was a Grand Blanc Township officer, where they met the suspect and they engaged in gunfire with that particular individual, neutralizing that suspect, and that suspect is no longer with us. As I said, it is a 40-year-old male from Burton.
So here we have it again. I think they're just trying to terrify everybody, not to, get back into their community, go back to church, come back together. Instead of dividing, people have started uniting again. What do you think about that? Think that's probably on target?
Well, I mean, that's what terrorists do. They use scare tactics because, they don't actually have the arguments to win the debate. So they use scare tactics to try to scare you into compliance or to scare you away from things that are important to you. So yeah, I 100% believe that that's what's happening, that they're just basically trying to scare people. They see the surge of people coming back to church after Charlie Kirk. That's obvious. But they've been doing these scare tactics for years, and because it's all they have. They don't really have the ability to win an argument. So they got to scare you. They got to use these terroristic tactics to try to, frighten the populace. Oh, I better stay away from church. I better not go around a Charlie Kirk memorial, because if I do, I might be attacked. That's basically the purpose of this stuff.
But also, it's such a cowardly thing to do.
It is,
right? Like, church is like, no one's going into church with animosity. They're not going in there, with their guard up, because that's the one place you shouldn't have your guard up, is church, right?
Of course, you open your heart to God and you want to be united with everybody there.
Well, even back in some of the worst of times, it's at least like schools and churches were generally off limits even to outlaws.
Always.
Even they wouldn't cross that line usually.
Right. Yeah. Even gangsters wouldn't do that
usually shit. Especially because of the Catholic side of it, right? Like, I mean, that's the thing, is like, to me, there's been an attack on church and God in general for the past 20, 30 years, easy, if not more. I mean, obviously more, but I mean, as far as this direct attack that's become like this political thing and this movement amongst people that want to just squash and take away religion altogether and replace it with what, though, is the big question. We now know what is. Yeah. It's woke.
But what pisses me off the most about this, though, is that the problem is when we find out the identity of the shooter, guaranteed mainstream media is going to be quiet about it.
Always.
It's either going to be a trans activist type person, or it's going to be somebody who was brought up in the church. It's always one of the two, right? Like it's never one or the other. It's either somebody who's completely, and then you find out why he's so upset with the church, because he was raised there his whole life, and now he wants to go get married to his boyfriend, but his daddy won't let him. Right? Like, whatever it is, it doesn't matter. I'm just speculating here, but you're not wrong 99% of the time. It's, what else is it going to be other than just some random act of violence?
Correct.
Right?
But I think you're right, Tom, but they're missing a point. And talk about speculating. We have Mexican Iron Man.
Mikey.
He's back here for $10. You don't want to speculate? Well, I will do it for you. The attacker was a mentally ill, retard, lefty, Democrat, God-hating asshole, and maybe he even probably had a transformer.
Mike's not probably wrong on 2 out of 3, if not 4 of these things.
Well, you know what? I got to give this to Mikey. I love him. This is for Mikey.
Flawless victory.
Perfect.
Wonderful.
That was perfect.
It has begun.
That was perfect. Real quick, I guess we'll get him. John Maynard for $20. I'm a member of Maher of their Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, and our beloved prophet, president of the church, had passed away last night. He was also a major at Pioneer in cardiovascular surgery. Well, my condolences to you and to yours. This I had been prepping the show. We were going to talk about again, look at a little bit of Peacemaker, Spaceballs, which I think that the title should be "My Schwartz is bigger than yours," not there.
Of course, man.
I think it shouldn't even exist. But that's
I know. But since they're doing it, and they confirmed that basically almost the entire cast is coming back. There's a picture of
Rick Moran is coming out of retirement to play Dark Helmet again. Dark Helmet.
Yeah.
So we were going to get into that, and we're going to get into it in a moment, but I wanted to, because I think it's important. This is about the culture, and we have seen in the past, again, 18 days, well, let's say a month, from Irina Zarutska's murder and the politics behind that led up to it, that our culture war has gone from cold to hot. I think we can all agree on that.
Oh, yeah. and again, the biggest culprit in all of this, the enemy here, is the media, man.
Yes.
They glorified Luigi Mangione when he shot that CEO, right? Glorified him. So now you have all these copycats who want to be him, who want to do what he did, right? It's kind of a messed up situation. They set all this up.
They did.
And then they won't cover it when their own people are doing this.
Think about how many times you've heard January 6th. January 6th. They beat that horse to absolute death. And we've heard mum's the word on all of these other murders and killings. We barely hear it. But these, especially when it comes to Charlie Kirk. But this one, the Christian church, what was it, like in Minnesota, I think, a couple of weeks back?
Yeah.
That one, multiple people dead. They barely talk about it. They barely talk about it, but they want to talk about January 6th. You'll hear January 6th about 25 more times before you'll hear them talk about, oh, Luigi Mangione shouldn't have did this or didn't that or whatever.
We've already seen that, like they've turned around and it's like Charlie Kirk didn't even die. Like this is what I was talking about on this very show 2-3 weeks ago when I said, do you really think things are going to change? And I said, no, in the grand scheme of thing, I don't think that they'll be running the same rhetoric they always do. And that's exactly what they're doing.
But I think it's changing.
I'm not saying that there's I'm not saying there isn't some change, but now it's up to the other side to go, okay, enough's enough.
Yeah,
we're not going to take it. And the problem with that is traditionally the other side has always, like I said, tried to keep things. Well, yeah, I mean, you could call it bend the knee, or you can call it just trying to keep things level-headed and where the kids don't have to worry about shit and their wives don't have to worry about shit, et cetera, right? Like that, that's kind of the way things used to be. But like this whole thing has gotten just to an extreme, right? Like this is the thing that I don't feel like people are talking about either, is when it comes to certain, like I can't wait to find out who this individual is, because I bet you he was radicalized pretty goddamn quick. And now I don't feel bad using that word because they love to use that word when referring to the right, Yeah. But what has happened here in the last few years? Like you just had Trump get shot at by some kid, where I said, regardless of what his following was before, he has been fed this rhetoric for years. Half of his life, he has heard Trump is literally Satan. Right? Like he has been hearing that for half of his life.
Yeah.
And of course he tried to shoot him. Then let's talk about this kid who shot Charlie Kirk. They're trying to paint him as MAGA. It's like, okay, please continue to paint him as MAGA, because then we'll ask the real question. What the fuck happened in the last few months that flipped him so hard that he went from MAGA to I'm going to kill Charlie Kirk?
Right.
That is some extremism.
Yeah, it is. And it's
Also,
what they've been
I'm
doing.
going to say this, man. I'm sorry. I mean, maybe I'm living in a bubble, but I just don't know any MAGA boys who have girlfriends with balls.
No, they don't.
Clearly, we know. Like, dude, we know. We need to convince them, though. That's the problem. And until you point these things out, right? It's the same thing with this fucking freedom of speech argument. You know what I say to anybody who wants to bring up this bullshit freedom of speech argument when it comes to Jimmy Kimmel? Shove it up your fucking ass, because it went out the door the minute that Charlie Kirk lost his freedom to speak, period.
Yeah.
Them trying to play this game with, oh, we need to tone down the fucking temperature. It's about the freedom of speech. Fuck you. One of y'all didn't get killed.
All right.
Yeah. Sorry, that bothers me. That whole thing this week. I'm getting all over the place here. Sorry.
I know. It's okay. We'll just try for a Sunday show. It's just because I've been, I made this mistake the last few weeks. I got a little vulgar, but I want us to tone just a little down, because I realized, again, I was one of the number one people breaking my own rule, that it's Sunday. We have a lot of people who might be at home doing the dishes, might have kids around. If it happens once in a while, cool. But
But I get Tom's anger. I mean,
I do. I understand him completely. He is
the Trump derangement part is the real major problem, is that you can't talk to these people because they're Trump deranged, because they hate Trump so much that you can't have a civil, honest to God conversation with somebody. Like Trump comes out and says, hey, maybe if you're pregnant, you shouldn't take Tylenol. That's a bad idea. What do we see in the flip reverse? Oh, everybody's going out there doing TikTok challenges and taking Tylenol. Why? Because Trump said don't do it. That's how Looney Tunes these people are. They would go out there and risk their life of their own child to take some Tylenol for what? To own Trump? And then apparently some woman is now in the hospital. I don't know if this was true or not. I heard about it.
It is. I got it.
You got it. That's crazy to me. To me, that's like, okay, I can't have a conversation with you if Trump says one thing and you're going to do the exact opposite just to say, ha, 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 I don't have to listen to Trump. That's stupid. That's stupid.
You know what's odd about that, and we'll get to it in a sec. Steph is here. We're going to bring her in a moment. Steph, great to have you here.
Hi. Sorry.
Hi. No problem. What's interesting is that you had the Secretary of Health and Human Services, RFK Jr., who's like, we're going to put out this warning about Tylenol. The research for that didn't come from Trump. Trump's not a doctor. It came from Harvard study, their elite university. And there's a video of it. We're going to get to the super chats in a second. There's a video of this woman who is explaining what's going on.
So it's about, going to be 6 a.m. finally. And for those of you who don't follow me on Twitter, I recommend that you do. I got a call, a very frantic call at 4:00 in the morning from a husband whose wife is now dying of liver failure on a ventilator in an ICU because she was trying to prove that Tylenol doesn't cause autism because.
Steph, wasn't she a nurse, or this is a nurse who runs like an emergency phone service? I think, because I saw one of the video clips under your Twitter handle.
This lady, I'm not too sure.
Okay, I think she's a nurse.
But she's also receiving this like secondhand information. I've seen multiple people report on her story specifically. So but it's all just what she is saying. I haven't seen yet, and I've Googled so many times, I haven't seen yet any like conclusive evidence of what she's saying, but there are multiple people that say like, her page is full of like honesty. She wouldn't lie about something like that. So a lot of people are backing her story that she wouldn't lie about something like this.
Right.
But yeah, I haven't seen anything like yet to come out, like the husband coming out and saying like, yes, this is true. It was me. This happened to my wife. Things like that.
Well, this is what she says. It's kind of shocking.
Of what Trump said on the news. Mind you, that's a Harvard study. Now, whether or not you believe the Harvard study or not is not the issue here.
No.
The issue is that she's somewhere between 23 to 25 weeks and she overdosed on Tylenol. And she's going to die. She's not going to come off that ventilator. And the guy got my phone number from somebody. Somebody gave it to him. I mean, guys, it's early in the morning. I'm still in Hello Kitty sweatpants in my gym trying to work out. And she's going to die. It's going to be, let me tell you something about Tylenol overdosing and death, is that if you aren't administered the antidote, it is a very slow and painful death, okay? Because Tylenol, as well as Benadryl and aspirin, are the three most common OTCs that people will.
Anyway, she goes on to continue to explain the fact that.
Well, that's what I was going to say earlier, is like, that was a thing for years, was they were even talking about taking Tylenol off the market because of how dangerous it is, because it's so easy to OD on it.
Right. It was. Hold on.
This might be a dumb question to ask. Yep. And I should, of all people, should probably know this, but how much does it take to clinically OD on Tylenol?
That I don't know. I don't know, because I've met some people, like when I went to the American Academy of Dramatic Arts in Pasadena, California. I'll never forget this. On our opening day, they're like, everybody get in a circle so we can introduce each other. Half the people there, they're like, well, the teacher would be like, why'd you get into acting? One person's like, well, I was really down on my life, so I took 2 bottles of Tylenol. And then I realized in the hospital that acting should be my thing. Half of them the same thing. So I don't know, but I've heard anywhere from 100 to 50 to 250. It doesn't matter. These people are nuts.
So so if you took 10 Tylenol, that wouldn't be a clinical.
That would still
OD?
damage your damage your liver.
Oh,
see, because when my kid was younger, he got into children's Tylenol. Now, lucky those are low dose enough.
Yeah.
But they still kept an eye on him for like a couple of weeks because they were worried about it. Because he popped them like they were candy or whatever. And fucking sorry about the language, but and they even told me like the main thing they're worried about is liver damage, because it can only take so many of them, and liver damage sets in. As far as I know, like anywhere from a bottle or less could kill you, right? Like it depends on your weight and all that kind of business, I'm sure.
Right.
It's not a very safe drug. That's why they were talking about taking it off the market in the first place.
The research in Harvard, when you look it up, that is basically what they are looking at the study. It's Tylenol came out. The company came out and said, please, really don't take this during your pregnancy. But instead, you've had on TikTok this insanity of women looking to the camera like they're owning Trump. He's not a doctor. He's the president, and he's not impacted by it, except that he hurts that American is so stupid. Like, this is what I mean by radicalization.
Well, that's just it, right? Like, even if he's lying or why would you take the fucking risk? Right? Your job as a mother, as a parent, is to make sure your child is safe. And nothing you put in your body is going to hurt your kid. I mean, there's several things. Even caffeine, some women won't drink while they're pregnant, right? Like, because there's many, many, many reasons why you shouldn't. This is the dumbest move in the world. You guys said it yourself. This would be like if tomorrow Trump come out and said, you shouldn't drink gasoline. It's bad for you.
And
to drink gasoline.
Maybe.
And then they'd all go out and go drink gasoline.
That's why I say you can't have you cannot have conversations with these
Steph,
people.
he's got to
It's
say,
like-
no, the air is so beautiful. You got to
Yeah.
breathe
Can't
it.
talk to 'em.
Breathe it constantly. If you don't breathe, then you're an American. And then they'll be like,
That's the solution. That's the solution then. He just has to say, don't do this to the left.
Or just say that, hey, by the way, I love arsenic.
Yeah, oxygen is good.
Oxygen's the
Breathe
greatest.
in all the oxygen. The thing is with these types of people, I think that they're all women, right? They're all women. Where are their husbands? Where are they? I don't know.
But also pregnant women at that.
But
Pregnant women.
they're all pregnant women. But here's the thing. I hate that they're using their babies for political statements, right? But you expect nothing less from these types of women
Hold up.
because they're the ones that are out there, pro-choice, dehumanizing babies so that they can kill them as well, like before they even have them, right? They call them fetuses, they call them parasites, they call them clumps of cells, so that they can disassociate and be like, no, I'm not killing an actual human being. I'm just having an abortion. It's totally normal. These are the types of thinking that has them thinking like it's not an actual baby. I can actually use this for a political statement. It is freaking ridiculous because Trump came out and said he couldn't. This is the first time that I've seen so many people call it acetaminophen, and they're saying it because Trump couldn't pronounce it. Well, he's not the one that did the study, right? He's not the one that did the study. It's okay that he can't pronounce acetaminophen or he stumbled his words because he didn't do the actual study. He's just presenting these results. And all of these women that are doing that, they're like, I'm going to take some Tylenol, acetaminophen, or I'm not going to listen to somebody who can't pronounce acetaminophen. And it's just like you realize that he didn't do the study, right? It's not him and RFK who actually like got together in the middle of the night and produced all of these results. No, these are actual minds, actual scientific minds that came out with these results. And to think that like pregnant women have to stay away from so many things, right? They can't have sushi, they can't drink, they can't smoke cigarettes, they can't have caffeine, they can't drink coffee, they can't drink soda. All of that has to be, or like caffeine and soda has to be like within like moderation or avoided at all. And all Trump is saying is if you absolutely need to take Tylenol, just take it when you absolutely positively need it. If it's not needed, you don't need to take it because there are risks. That's all he is saying. But no, these women are just like totally fine dancing in their bathrooms. I'm going to take Tylenol because Trump said because Trump said I shouldn't take it. It is the dumbest movement that I have seen on TikTok to put even if there's the slightest chance that you taking that Tylenol could cause your child to have autism.
Right. You wouldn't do it. Why would you do it? Yeah, I know. It's like the Tide Pod challenge, though.
You're making terrible decisions as a mom before your baby is even born.
If we're doing good faith, if we're doing good faith, right? I've never been pregnant. I will never know what that's like, right? So I don't know what kind of pain women go through when they're pregnant. So what's the alternative for a woman who's pregnant, who's in pain, right? What do they take? Like, what do they do? So I don't know the answers to any of these, and it's not for me to know, really. But so I get on some level of, well, dude, what am I supposed to do when I'm in pain and I'm pregnant, right? So there's that question. The other problem I have with this is talking about good faith. These videos, there's a probability that maybe that the women in these videos aren't even taking real Tylenol, right? They're probably popping mints. Like they're popping Altoids, making them look like Tylenol, right? So if they're doing that just for the clicks, right? So they're not, let's say that like in good faith, they're not really damaging their baby. But what they're doing is they're promoting damaging their baby.
Yep.
Right.
They're promoting it, even if they're not really doing it.
I gotta correct you guys real quick.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. These are not pregnant women. They're future single mothers. Get it right. They don't like that word anymore. They don't like to be called pregnant women. It's future single mothers. Get it right. No, yeah, your guys are at the end of the day, like, what the hell? Like, it's the stupidest shit in the world.
Yeah.
I won't even give them that that grace. I think that they are actually taking Tylenol. The one person who I saw a lot of people arguing about, like, oh, that's performative because the pill was blue. Tylenol does have blue ones. They have blue Tylenol pills, so she could have been taking a Tylenol pill. There was like one girl. They're like, oh, it's performative. She might not even be taking Tylenol. She's taking something. If it's not Tylenol, it is something. It's something. She's taking something. I won't even allow them that grace that, oh, it's just performative, not really taking time. I think that they are absolutely.
Well, I'm not saying all of them are. I'm saying there might be a chance that some of them.
It doesn't matter.
I think they're so brain damaged, so like into like this TDS, so angry at Trump that they would absolutely take Tylenol.
It's crazy. Any other president could have came out and said this, and they probably would have blew it off. But because
even if
Trump said it, oh, I have to react to this. I got to go online and I got to say something because it's Trump. It's like if Biden said it, if Obama said it, if Bush 1 or Bush 2 said, if any other president said, hey, you probably shouldn't take Tylenol, it's not a good idea for your child, everybody would have just whatever. But as soon as Trump says something, that's what I'm saying. The derangement, you can't talk to these people. You cannot have a legitimate conversation with them because when Trump enters into the conversation, their brain cells just leave their brains. All rationale and reason just goes right out the window. It's stupid.
Tylenol themselves could have put a label on the bottle and nobody would have said shit.
No.
Yeah.
Right.
I think
like
that's
that.
all
You're
that they
100%
were
right.
asking for, isn't it?
Yeah.
Is that
I
doctors
think so.
wanted
Because I
to
think
do
you got to go to the
That's it.
FDA or something like that or something
That's
like that.
that's what RFK is doing. That's what he wants the FDA just to put a warning on the label. Do not take during pregnancy. That's it. They're not telling you what to do. They're saying
in general, it should just say that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and that's why it's so crazy, man, that like just thinking about Hollywood for a minute, like the voices of reason are so low, man. And that's why I give Chris Pratt so much credit, man.
Hell yeah.
That's why I will always support that guy no matter what he does, because I just remember him on Bill Maher, not the show, but the Bill Maher podcast on YouTube. They were doing their one-on-one, and he was just saying that because he's married into the Kennedy family, and he was just talking about how with RFK, man, like, dude, if a guy is trying to take poison out of food, no matter what side you're on, why are you fighting him? Why are you fighting this?
Trump. That's why. Trump. That's it.
Exactly. You may not have to agree with every take he has on when it comes to vaccines and all that crap, but you're 100% right, Verbal. Right? It's like it's like a doctor coming out and saying, you should drink more water. It's better for you than soda. Right? If Trump said that same thing, they'd quit drinking water, like you guys just said. It's like, it's just common fucking sense. When did common sense go out the window? And we've been talking about it for
when the left got crazy. When the left
exactly.
And
that's what Script Doctor said. He goes, it's not common sense anymore. It's super sense. Because if it was common sense, most people would have it. That's the problem now. Is most people don't have it.
Yeah.
At some point, the left is going to have to admit, and I'm not talking about the crazy left. I mean the people who are still holding on to that moderate title. They're going to have to admit that their party got hijacked at some point, and they got to make a choice here. Do they stay with the crazies, or do they make a decision? You know what I mean? Because they have to admit that they've been hijacked.
Charlie Kirk is kind of one of those moments. Yeah, sorry.
Funny enough, talk about that. Bill Maher actually this weekend took the left to task. I'm going to read these super chats, then we're going to get that because it was a brilliant monologue that he had up. Kind of
really
surprised,
quickly,
but yep.
Really, it's interesting on Verbal's point. It's very interesting that they reject the poison. They're getting mad. Oh, why would you want your food poisoned? What these people are signaling by taking all of this Tylenol in defiance of Trump is that they're backing big pharma.
Of course they are. But they've been programmed that way.
We're backing Tylenol. We back big pharma. When you go to the Tylenol, the tweets that people recently found, and they're just like, oh, actually, no, you shouldn't be taking this while pregnant. When within the past few years, Tylenol has actually cornered the pregnant woman and infant market, which is interesting because I have family in medicine who say like, yeah, doctors will say if you absolutely need only Tylenol, they will only mention Tylenol, no other medicine, just Tylenol. You could take Tylenol. Or when they go get their babies vaccinated, if he gets a fever, give them infant Tylenol. It is always Tylenol. They've kind of like cornered that market
Wow.
Yeah.
of
I've been in medicine. I was in medicine for 30 years. I was in medicine for 30 years, Steph. I didn't know that your family was. And what you have sales rep who come to you. We threw a lot of them out. I stopped letting sales reps come in because before there used to be a law before 98. It was called Stark Act 1 and Stark Act 2. You would have pharmaceutical companies along with hospitals who would offer doctors incentives. It's like, hey, will you send us, this is how a CEO of a hospital once told me. He goes, George, our hospital is a hotel. We got to keep it 95% occupied at all times.
Wow.
And so I'm sitting there talking, and he's like, we can work with you. We can send your company a lot of money. What you need to do is, and he gave me a list. These are how many MRIs we need. These are how many CT scans we need. He goes, these are how many surgeries we need, appendectomies. And for each one of these, we can set goals for your doctors. They want to go to Jamaica. They want to have a trip, first class trip to Europe. Oh, and I'm like, get the fuck out of here. So
that is morbid shit, man.
Oh, no, I had a doctor that I knew. Let me just say this. In 2006, I go to this doctor's office because he kept calling me. He's like, I'd like to work with you. I'm like, I kind of ignored him because I didn't know who he was, but I guess persistence. I finally go to his office. We're talking. He sounds like a good guy. And then he closes the back of the door to put his coat on. And behind there was this huge poster of Madonna, the singer. Except her body was done how you do it at a butcher's. You know how they have the cow where it's like ribs, chuck.
Oh my God.
Except, yeah, so he had that, except it was like, it said appendectomy. He goes, it didn't say Mr. said another word. I think it was like, it said Cheryl's boob job. Each surgery, each body part had a price. So he had Ferrari. Everything was listed out there on a menu. And he goes, do you see that? He goes, I always tell people, spleen, you don't need it. He goes, that's going to be a good payment on my beach house. He goes, appendix, gallbladder. And each one was, and he wasn't the only one. He just admitted it. Hundreds of doctors that I've met over the years. It was about money, the sales reps.
Oh, yeah. The sales reps.
There's that side of it. Oh, sorry, good stuff.
A really good Netflix series is, I think it's called Painkiller. It's about Purdue Pharma and the OxyContin epidemic and the rise of that epidemic and where it actually started. That's such a good one, and it shows those people, those pill hustlers. It shows exactly how they work, what they do, and how it started. It's such a good series. It's like a peek.
I gotta watch it.
It's really good. It's such a good series, and it kind of shows you, like, it's all about money. Like, even at the doctor's office, it's just about money. That's all it is. It's all incentives, free gifts, trips, vacations, all that stuff paid for by Big Pharma. It's a really good one. You should watch it.
Well,
I was gonna say, yeah, no, you're right. And pretty much Steph is along the same lines of where I was gonna go with this, because like George, you were talking about that act that came around in, what was it, 96, 97, 98?
Yeah, Stark 1 and Stark 2, yeah.
And what happened was also at that same time, you noticed all of a sudden you started getting these freaking commercials for all these prescription meds we never got before. Yep. And I'm sitting here going, why are we getting ads for prescription meds? You can't get a prescription med without a doctor's prescription. And the reason they do that is so you go to your doctor and say, I want Lipitor. I want insert your drug here. That's the new one. And this is why we keep having these epidemics of all these problems, because a lot of these drugs are not tested enough and well enough, and they don't know the long-term effects of a lot of these things. And, even Ozempic is the new one, right? Like, so what's next, And that's all they are. It's just and they sell them that way. It's like, you can't go to a store and buy this shit. You have to go to a doctor, get a prescription. And the reason they do it, and it's these reps you're talking about, where what they would do on the other side of that is that then they would sell all this crap to the doctors, and they're like, yeah, make sure you feed all your patients these pills, right? And I agree with Steph too, because Tylenol, every time, and I couldn't figure this out either, like, because as a big guy like myself, when I would have back issues, they're like, oh, just take some Tylenol. It's like, you don't think I haven't tried that already? Yeah. Like, well, that's why I'm here. I'm at a doctor's. I don't need you telling me to take the same thing I already tried 3 times ago. I want you to do something about my back. Quick, feed me pills. Right. And that's the other thing is the whole medical industry anymore. And this is why we have this, opioid problem in America, is because all it is just feeding people pills.
It is. But the thing is opioids do have a place. We got to have that. We have to have that discussion one day on the show. But real quick, I want to get to the super chats because people have been waiting, and then we will jump into how Bill Maher tackled the crazy. But I really like this I could tell you stories from medical. Let me tell you, Tony Soprano had nothing on the medical industry. I could go on for hours. Number one, never seen an industry that has more sex than anybody else. Well, nurses, doctors, MAs, it's all there. Be careful when you go to your doctor's office and you sit on the bed. Just take a UV light once, be careful.
Oh, Jesus Christ, man.
What did the Godfather say about the drug business? Oh, it's a dirty business.
It is. The thing is that there are good doctors. A lot of that changed when they started. The problem to me happened in 95 when medicine started training its doctors how to run their businesses. They treated them as businessmen first. And they started saying, you got to look at this as a business. Doctors that I know still today are some of the greatest people ever because it was their calling. They didn't do it for money. And they're not the richest guys. They're the people you could call up still today. Two doctors, I know you can call them at 2 o'clock in the morning and say, my baby has a fever. And that doc will come out. And he's not going to say, give me your left arm because they have a calling. Oliver,
for the past, between today and the past couple of months, man, for me, hospitals are either between it's either a hotel or a whorehouse, dude. I have no idea what's going on at hospitals anymore, man. Because apparently nurses are just banging everybody.
They do. Not all
Can you
of
tell
them,
me where
they do.
these specific hospitals are for research by chance?
I have a hangnail.
Most hospitals, not all, not everyone.
I took one of those
lot.
blue pills and I've had an erection for more than 4 hours. I need your help. No.
Yeah, it's too funny. Oliver Lavery Farage. Remember, for 3 months, it's pronounced acetaminophen. That's Beardo. Okay. Thank you for that.
Beardo pronounced it acetaminophen.
Acetaminophen. I like that. Acetaminophen. Eric K, King of the Mods for $5. Used to be these idiots overdosing on Tylenol would not survive long enough to breed. Unfortunately, you have the flip side. Medicine is really good today, and they have an antidote. Let evolution work. Yeah. Oh, thank you.
That's why I just stick with weed, man. I forget all this, pharmaceutical shit and all that, man. Just give me what's from the earth, dude.
Okay, wait. That they have chemically made to be at its maximum potency. I don't think this is like the shit in the.
I'm not going to argue that point, but he's not wrong. A lot of the opioids and other things that they push on people for a daily thing could be cured with just simple cannabis. It's bullshit. And that's another reason why they've kept it illegal for so long, right? And we haven't had enough studies to kind of prove all these things yet. But that's the thing is when you're getting, prescribed certain opioids for just, certain other, like a back pain or an arm pain, then you get addicted to the things. What are you going to do, right? You're going to die after too long because you keep taking them and taking them and taking them. Or if you quit taking them, you're going to die.
Well, think about it like this, man. Weed is illegal on a federal level, right? It's a Schedule I drug, which is ridiculous, right? Meaning
didn't they change that though?
Meaning it's up there with cocaine, right? But at the same time, I can get a subscription from a doctor where I can get a pill where I'm going to be bleeding out of my ass, right? Like as a side effect.
Hey, they'll give you a pill for your bleeding out of your ass, so you can then.
You got 3 more pills for that. See that, and that's just it, right? They give you one pill to cure one thing, and then you got to take another pill to take the thing that gave you the side effect of the other thing. Then you got to take something else to take to fix the side effect.
We're gonna have to do a special on this because I'm gonna end this and then go to the super chats.
Yeah, I'm gonna shut up. Sorry.
No. The best medicine, okay, that in my experience is to combine Western medicine with Eastern. We're talking holistic, because you have the best of both. Because Western medicine, which we have some of the top medical minds in the world, treats the symptoms. That's the problem. Eastern medicine actually treats the problem. So you combine them together, you're going to stay really healthy. Blitzen, I got to say thank you for that. I love you.
Smoke weed every day.
Not weed I smoke. I don't smoke weed. Just want to say thank you. I don't smoke weed. All right, let's bring up the super chats. Graf Weber, $2. In the name of all that is holy, cancel Disney Plus. And a few days ago, Cynthia Nixon agreed with you. But of course, since she's a Hollywood has-been, she turned around the second that the Mouse House brought Jimmy Kimmel back, which we're going to talk about in a moment. I do not think it is the victory that, they claim it is. But we'll get to that in a second. John Kokoza for $5. George and panel thoughts on Netflix new show Wayward Super Woke. LGBT kids, pronouns, and trans men lead with scenes shirtless with breast removal.
What?
I didn't even want to say that. I don't know what that show is, but now that you told me, it's stuck in my mind. We'll have to read what it is. I'm not going to watch it.
Wow.
Thank you,
Yeah,
John.
I'm good, man.
Butter framed in gold for $5. Obama recently told people to keep taking Tylenol and that the lies of the Trump admin is violence. Man, I almost said something that had me in the pokey.
By the way, I guess this has already been on the label.
Yeah, I wouldn't.
Six brought it to my attention. Yeah, it's been there forever.
I wouldn't trust Obama for anything. Steal leg of history for $2. You risk defects and other problems with your babies. Yeah, absolutely. That's the whole thing. Make America healthy. America wanted to get rid of all the dyes in our food, all the chemicals. That's why our number one enemy are pharmaceutical companies. And that's why they're getting so much pushback that Trump and RFK Jr. is. Thank you, Steel Leg. Be blessed, my friend. Tender Warrior, always great to see you. For $5, I suffer from major pain. Yeah, you and me both. I have my knees blown out from playing rugby and soccer. My doctor told me no more than 6 to 3 grams in 24 hours is safe for me. Good. I hope one day we meet in person at a meetup, and I can tell you a few things to help you. Thank you, Tender Warrior. Eric K. for another $5. Christians are being slaughtered throughout Africa and Syria for years now. About 150,000 in the last 10 years. Yep. Zero outrage or coverage. Africa's had Christianity longer than any place. Yet they've been slaughtering them. You've had Muslim tribes wiping them out. Church after church, family after family. It's the Phobos for $2. Slayer Con, Nerdrotic Con, Fellowship Con, Con 199. I'm ready. This, in 2026, I'm going to do a meetup. I'm going to do it. So we're going to do something. Eric K became a YouTube member. Wow, my mod became a member. Also, the very first person I knew on YouTube. I think that this one's for you, brother.
Gentlemen, welcome to Fight Club.
Speaking of Brad Pitt, actually, I'm going to have to take off like around in about an hour because I'm going to a F1 screening with the cast and crew, and nice. It should be kind of fun.
Lucky.
Really hoping Brad Pitt's going to be there.
Wait, a screening? It's already shown. You mean another?
It's for the awards. The award they do these screenings for award season.
It's getting that point, ain't it? Yeah, I forgot.
Take a picture of him for me.
Oh, I'm like, because normally they show up for these, but sometimes, the big celebrities sometimes don't show up. But I'm assuming he's going to be there because it's literally his movie.
Tell him to say hi, Steph.
Hi, Steph.
I will definitely say that.
I want you to ask him: is the F1 Days of Thunder crossover?
Oh, I'm going to ask him some questions for sure.
Yeah, the Days of Thunder
Also,
crossover.
how was Angelina Jolie?
I'm not going to ask him that.
Oh, come on.
He'd be like, get out of here.
Yeah.
You know what my favorite character that
Brad Pitt is known for punching people, man.
Yes, I know. Whoa. You'd be viral tomorrow. No, I've always my favorite character of his was always from Snatch. I still
love him. Yeah.
That's a good one, but
well, Bob the Lobster, how are you doing, my friend? What a beautiful soul. He gifted 5 George the Giant Slayer memberships. Thank you. I'm building a library of clips, and I have one very special one for you this week. Not ready yet, because I like that, using the clips. It's cool. Each person gets a special one. Tender Warrior 68, great to see you. Gifted 5 George the Giant Slayer memberships. Thank you, both of you. Please, everybody who got a membership from them. Please thank him. It's appreciated. Now, talking about the crazy, you had Bill Maher. His balls dropped this week a little bit more. And he actually, because sometimes he dances around the issues. To me, he does. He was straight to the point.
The basic problem we have in America is conservatives think the liberals are insane, and they're not completely wrong. Now, I don't think most liberals are insane, but neither do they make it clear they disapprove of the ones who are, and their cowardice in not marginalizing their own crazies has been their downfall. I couldn't get Neil deGrasse Tyson, a genius scientist and preeminent scientific voice in the media, to agree that it was ridiculous for Scientific American and The Atlantic to be claiming that separating sports by sex doesn't make sense.
Somebody's turned on some.
Oops, sorry.
Okay.
Yes, it does. Actually, it makes perfect sense. And it's obvious that it does. And there's a lot of stuff like that on the left. And when conservatives see it, they say, I'm sorry, we're just not going to go along with reinventing society, often pointlessly, even if we have to cancel democracy to do it. That's what they're saying. They see gender as only a construct and sex is assigned at birth, and they say, we're not doing that. Transing kids by self-diagnosis with no age limit, no parental notification, and no acknowledgement of social contagion, not doing it. Asylum now covers any reason for anyone to come to America, not doing it. Homelessness is a lifestyle. Natural immunity doesn't count anymore. Whiteness is toxic. Penises in women's prisons. Welcoming the intifada. We're not doing it. And so, folks, if we are ever going to get back to the old America, that's got to be the Democrats' part of the bargain. Stop coming up with radically new and often terrible ideas, and then in the next breath, insist there be no debate about any of it. That if you don't see it right away and go along, you're bad, stupid, and deplorable. As if you were saying, duh, 2 + 2 = 5. Isn't that obvious? Yeah, it's obvious you can't add.
I think he was brilliant. He goes on.
Yeah.
It's
Spot on.
Yeah. I was surprised. I mean, he usually likes to play a fence sitter, but he's coming out each
he
week.
speaks out quite a bit. I just think that you have to remember Bill Maher is a very comfortable liberal, right? The guy, you know, he's wealthy. He doesn't have to really deal with things on the front lines like most people. So he's able to sit back and still call himself a Democrat while still, you know, every now and then pointing out their flaws.
You mean holding on to his privileges?
Yeah, basically.
But I don't think he's going to be able to hold on too much because he's now gone after. I've been reading how many of these leftards are angry since he called out the support for trans and transing kids. Like, they didn't take that kindly. He went right after their, you know, sacred cow. But
well, he finally started speaking since when the lockdowns happened, like when COVID happened. Because I guess it interfered with his lifestyle so much that he felt the need to speak out against it.
Well, that makes sense. That makes sense.
And that's when he started losing the left.
Oh, yeah. Well, the only thing is, I do hope that this lasts for when it comes to him and he doesn't, because I remember, when was it? It was towards the end of Biden's, it was towards the end of Biden's administration where he started speaking up this way, started making more sense, talking with Zachary Levi. But when they asked him,
but you also notice that's when things just went off the rails. Like, that's when the trans stuff just went absolutely insane. And it's like, okay, like a reasonable person can't possibly be rocking with this nonsense. You know, somebody that's just right, straight arrow down the line, whether I have the same political opinions as you, that's a bridge too far. And I think even Bill Maher and a lot of other people said, this is beyond the pale. I can't keep siding with this. I got to say something. Otherwise, people are going to think that I agree with this crap, which, you know, he clearly doesn't. So I think certain topics just go so far to the left. That's like, all right, I got to say something because I don't want to be lumped in with these morons. You know what I'm saying?
Right, but the fact is, I don't want him to keep voting the same way. That's what I was trying to say. It's like he was angry at what the Biden administration was doing for the last year, and he would start speaking up with Zachary Levi and all the rest of his guests who would challenge him. But then he's like, how are you going to vote? You going to vote for Trump? He's like, well, no. I'm like, okay, so you saying one thing is great. You got to start acting. So I'm happy that he's coming out and he's putting the left on notice and that he's targeting them, but he's got to act on it.
It's kind of easy to turn around and say that when, you know, you only have one other choice, right? Because I think that's the real conversation most people don't want to have, is that we don't have enough choices when it comes to voices in America. Because really, let's be real, at the end of the day, a lot of the country's purple. There's no real red and blue when it all boils down to it. I don't know. I think a lot of the country's pretty much in the middle. Because here's why I say that. Because we've seen the memes a million times, and I even shared the meme about how the left me. It's like, you know, they has the two sides, and the left just keeps getting farther away. No, and this is why I think Bill Maher has actually always kind of been a lot like most centrists, is because the left didn't like go that far away. They literally just like jumped the shark way far, far, far away. They never were that before, right? Like the left was this thing, and then all of a sudden it became this other thing, right? Like, and that's where I think Bill stands on this whole thing, because he's kind of like, wait a minute here. I didn't sign up for this fucking gig.
Right.
Sorry for the language again, but like that's what I'm saying. He's like, this is not what I thought we were getting into, and I didn't think we were about, because that's where we've seen a little bit of this with Charlie Kirk, and I was hoping it was going to spread, right? Where people are like, look, it's one thing for us to disagree and have all these problems, but we don't need to be shooting at each other.
Of
right?
course
Like
not.
that's the thing, and you would think we can't even get to that point anymore.
Yeah, that's because the left is losing. They know they're losing. They have a little time, precious time left, and so they have taken the war, the culture war, from cold to hot. The point is, I will say, respectfully, I disagree. I think this is a majority red country with small pockets of purple and red, but we can see that. You know how I always know? In Texas, right? We have Houston, Austin, and Dallas as left as possible could be. Houston's almost identical to San Francisco in their policies.
Are you serious?
Yes, our crime, they're not talking about it. Police are angry all the time on local stations because they arrest criminals. The DA lets them go. They're like, because people are like, crime is soaring. You had a Korean woman. You remember that, Steph, a year ago? The Korean woman who was knocked out in the back of the head after she came out of the bank? It was like on every news station.
Well, the reason I say that,
If I see the video, I'll probably remember.
the reason I say that is,
But Houston and Austin are extremely liberal.
Yeah, big time. Like
Austin is where all of the Californians go when they want to move to Texas. They go to they go to Austin.
Unfortunately.
And, I think Houston started. I think it was like after Hurricane Katrina?
It was, yeah, because we changed a lot after Hurricane Katrina, politically and ideologically, because you had a lot of people who were Democrats moved into the city, which again, there used to be a thing in the South called Dixiecrats, which they were Democrats, but they were reflected more like, they're like Trump, almost exactly like Trump in ideology and in policy. But we changed after Katrina big time. And I always blame Man of War for that. But the reality is you can always tell in the rest of Texas, though, is as red as you can be. I mean, when you ask them about going to church or traditional values or what your church, we have prayer in school, they'll be like, yeah, shouldn't we get back to the way we were in the founding when you had the first 13 colonies? But then became the first 13 states, which had Bible was mandatory. You could not serve in the government in any state except for Virginia and New York unless you proved your faith. People don't realize that in state constitutions.
This is maybe where you and I disagree on this a little bit, right? Because in my opinion, it was like, at least back in the day growing up, it didn't matter if you were Democrat or Republican. They didn't attack religion.
Yes, I agree with you there.
That's my point. See, here's the thing. That's what I was trying to say. It was like, this is like a whole new thing, right? Like, this isn't like old Democrats decided, we're going to try these new policies. We're going to change our ways. We're going to do this. No, these are like a whole different kind of set of people, right? Because even back in the day, even though you had the left and the right and they didn't agree on a lot of policies and other little things, they're at least, even like abortion was one of those topics where both of them were mostly on the same side of. It was just certain radicals at that point that were trying to make this a big deal, right? Like, it was like, no, most of us agree that you shouldn't do this, right? There's no real reason for it unless there's a medical reason, which is so slim and minuscule that in most cases, the doctor will help you figure it out. Like, that's the whole thing. It's like, you're just talking about basically, you want to basically make this thing birth control at the end of the day is what you're doing. And that's what people said for years. They're like, no. And then you had them come right up on the stage. What's her face? Michelle Williams come right up on the Oscar stage and say, if it wasn't for me having an abortion, I wouldn't be able to have this Oscar today.
God, yeah,
it's like, that was the moment I said that right there. You just lost America, because you are correct. And I agree with you in that respect, George, is that most people agree on the same things, is that babies are important. Women are important. We need to preserve the future. Men want to be able to, make, their families feel safe and secure. That's a pretty standard thing, whether you're blue or you're red or whatever.
Always, yeah.
And that's what I'm saying. And most people believe in God or some sort of religion, right? So like, these things are kind of just standard in America. That's what you're not wrong. Americana itself always was pretty much traditional of what conservatism is seen now, to where like everybody used to feel that way, whether they were Democrat or Republican. The difference is now is the Democrat is anti any of that shit. Right?
Yeah, I don't think it's Democrat. I think it's the left took over. I agree with you there.
Yeah.
That's what you're coming from. What happened is we used to have two parties.
Normality.
Both loved America, both loved family, God, and whatever they worshipped him in whatever form. But they had two different, basically, economic outlooks and outlooks on foreign policy. Today, and they loved America. Today, you have a left that wants to destroy America. But I'm going to say this. There's good news because you always look at, because we see the worst happening, the church attack today, Charlie Kirk. But then I find the smallest things touching. This kid defended his sister. I know this might seem silly, but this kid is brave. And
it's cute. It's adorable.
I know it is because he's terrified. But his little sister was even more terrified. And I think it just shows you that there's goodness everywhere and strength in everyone.
Under your bed and turn your dreams into nightmares.
Oh.
Think about how terrified he was. You could see the look on his face, but it's that type of decency, the goodness. He's protecting his little sister and strength because he's shitting on himself, going, "Oh my God, look at this scary thing."
That's instinct.
Yep.
Men want to protect the women.
Yeah, absolutely. That's how I was raised. And we had this decent thing.
And that is everything that the left fights against.
Yep.
Instinct and nature.
Instinct and nature. Yep.
100%. 100%. And the Amish have been working for months to help rebuild Western, I don't know what the hell I did with my tongue there, Western North Carolina. And they've finished up their last home. They came to bat for the people.
We want people to know that they are important and that no matter what happens to them, there's nothing so bad that God can't work some good out of it.
They tell us the work is long from over, with so many people still needing the basic necessities.
Just because the newness and the news and all that might not cover it so much anymore, there's still need.
The gospel is an action too, and God is calling us to action to help our neighbors that are in need, to help those that are struggling, and get them back to a place where they can feel freedom, they can feel peace, and they can walk in just comfort again.
And one more bit of good news: we are told that this final tiny home is going to be given to David Hostetter. You may remember we told you about him 3 weeks ago, a Vietnam veteran that lost his home during the storm. This will now be his temporary residence.
We want people to know.
I think that's cool.
That's
awesome. They stepped up. I mean, that
was about 1 year ago, wasn't it? That was 1 year ago that those floods wiped it out. Wow, man. Time
Well, and that's why church used to be such a big deal in the community. It wasn't so much, it didn't matter if it was a Lutheran church, a Catholic church, it doesn't matter. If a house fire happens and a family loses everything, 9 times out of 10, the people that rally together are a church, and they get together and they make sure everybody's taken care of and gets what they need, right?
Yep.
Like, that's old community. That's what I think we're missing. That's especially where the Democrats want the Democrats want the government to come in and take that kind of shit over, right?
Yeah.
Like they want to be dependent on that, and that's what I loved about. Say what you will about religion, it doesn't matter. It kept communities independent from always relying on the government to come and save their ass, right? Like, that's kind of where I looked at it on a very small level, right? Because otherwise, then people become more and more and more dependent on the government to take care of them. And look where we've gotten. Like, that's exactly what we've gotten here, is this welfare country, basically.
I agree.
The houses are going to last a long time too. Amish do quality work.
Yeah, they do.
Hell yeah. But now on something else that's crazier. It's Disney and Marvel. Did y'all see the headlines that Doomsday wraps filming? But was the script finished? How the hell do you wrap filming?
I heard that the script
without a script.
No, I heard that they have a finished script. Whether it's a good one, who knows? But they did finish the script.
Okay, so I heard they just brought in the script for Superman, and so they could say they had a finished script on the set.
Okay. It's crazy.
I mean, yeah.
Derek got it.
I got it.
Yeah. No, I get it too. I just
insert any movie that's done here into that joke, basically. But yeah,
pretty much. I mean, it's kind of ridiculous, man. They filmed most of this movie without a script.
I know, but how do you do that? I'm still trying. I mean, like, I was reading how some of the characters are like the guy who plays Nightcrawler. They just told him,
Alan Cumming.
Punch here. Alan Cumming. Yeah, thank you. Punch here. It's Pedro Pascal. It's like, Pedro Pascal's everywhere. They were joking. They're like, just punch in the air in this direction. It's like, come on.
Yeah, he didn't know. He didn't know who he was who he was acting with or against, because the people had like dots on their faces. They weren't the actual people that he was supposed to be acting with. Apparently, it was to keep leaks from happening. But still, like as an actor, how do you act? How do you do that? Aren't you supposed to like be in the moment, be in the scene,
Right.
have the actors that you're acting opposite of, like, because otherwise it's just generic acting. You know, he had no idea what was happening. Like that's what he had no idea what was going on. He has no idea if he was done filming. He has no clue. He was so lost when filming this movie because he didn't know who he was acting across. Everybody was supposed to be added in later on. So he was just like, I don't know. He had no clue. How do you do that? How do you act to that?
You also have to understand, like most of the people in this movie are probably only going to get about 5 to 6 minutes of screen time each. I mean, because they have so many people in this film.
Right.
Yeah.
Like, how are they going to divide the time?
It's literally going to be cameo porn in the movie. Yeah.
You know what's crazy? I don't even know who the lead of this movie is. Besides Robert Downey Jr., who's the villain? Who's the other leads?
Isn't it Pedro Pipis himself?
Who are the Avengers? Who
Or
are
Chris
the
Pratt.
Avengers? That's my
Well,
question.
not the Avengers,
Who are
they're
the
the
Avengers?
Thunder
We're going
Huggers.
into an Avengers film not knowing who the Avengers are.
It's the
We have
Thunder
2
Huggers.
Avengers left.
Come on, we know this. Thunder Huggers, damn it.
No, there's 2 actual Avengers left. I don't give a crap what anybody says, and one of them's a big cuck now, basically.
Wait, which
Was it
ones?
Thor and
Thor
Captain
and
America.
Hulk.
Oh, you're right.
What about
yeah.
Captain
Oh my
America?
God, I forgot about that.
Captain's dead.
Or Falcon. Falcon, I mean, I'm sorry.
Fucking he ain't no Captain America. What are you talking about?
Captain Falcon.
He gave
Captain
up his
Falcon.
status when he decided to be Captain America because he was an
Suing
Avenger
for the
when he was
name,
Falcon.
man. He's got to be an Avenger. He's suing
No,
for the name.
he was. He was when he was Falcon, but he gave that up. See, like that's like the problem here. I don't understand why he did that. Like,
I
so
don't either,
stupid.
man.
I don't think it really
He did
matters.
it because the comic book did it. But
Hulk
Because
is
he can't
still
even get a
around.
loan now, Derek.
Hulk is still around. Hawkeye is still around, but I don't.
True.
Is Jeremy
you're
Renner
right.
going to be in the new Avengers movie?
I don't even
It's
know.
who?
Jeremy Renner? I don't know.
Oh,
Because
I have
of
no
his
idea.
accident and stuff.
Doubt it.
I haven't heard
Hawkeye
anything
is
about
still
Jeremy
around.
Renner being in this film at all.
I've
And
heard
then-
2 different rumors. Yeah.
And then Thor.
Thor.
Is Thor's kid going to be in it?
Oh God, who knows?
He's not
Who
dead
knows?
now.
Who knows?
Thor Belina. Yeah, I'm
Is,
sure
is,
she
is
will
Hulk's
be.
son going to be in it?
Oh yeah, he's supposed to be in it too.
Hulkling.
Scar. Or
Is
whatever
she
he is.
Hulk? Look, she just told everybody to cancel Disney Plus. Is she going to be in it?
Dude,
I
that's
would say no,
wild
but you
work.
never know anymore.
That's wild work. This bitch, I mean, I'm sorry, George, this chick, she literally was screaming about the fact that, you know, she got denied being in Wolverine and Deadpool, and that she wanted to be part of Doomsday, right? And then she's telling people to cancel their Disney Plus.
The sad part is verbal is the last thing they don't really probably care about. They almost probably told them all to go out there and do that crap on purpose. I'm almost to the point where I think this whole thing was orchestrated.
Again, I think that Disney lost out on that. I'm going to be clear real quick. On Jimmy Kimmel, they brought Jimmy back. They keep the 225,000 viewers. They're not getting the middle or the right ever back. So it's just their own destruction. This is just TikTok. Look at their theme parks. You see attendance keeps dropping. I don't think Disney's doing itself a favor. You're going to have Marvel's going to eat it. Is going to get bent
Disney
over
should
with
have stayed
dudes.
a girl's brand. They
A
should have
girl's
just
brand? You
stayed
mean
a
a boys'
girl's
brand? It was both boys. You mean a boys' brand and a girl's brand? Which one?
No. Disney was always pretty much a girl's brand for the most part, right? With the
You're
princesses
talking
and all
before
that. Like,
Star Wars. You're talking before Star Wars and more.
yeah,
Okay,
I'm talking
yeah.
before all that. I'm
Yeah,
talking
yeah.
about they should have just left Star Wars and the MCU alone because they have no idea what they're doing.
I agree. It's the same way with Tron. Is anybody looking forward to seeing Tron?
Not anymore.
I was until I started seeing the clips.
Can I have a second on that one? Because I told y'all what it was going to be, didn't I? Yeah. Well,
We have 3 clips here.
Classic.
Yikes.
You know, I don't mind that clip because it was reminiscent of the original, and
It is, but I think that's
maybe that's what they were trying to go for there. So that did get me a little bit in the feels where I'm like, okay, I love the first Tron movie. That was kind of like a throwback to that. The problem is though,
the rest of it,
you don't have you have a Tron movie without Tron, right? And you could argue that in Legacy, Tron didn't play the biggest role in the
They
film.
still made sure he was there.
But he was there.
Pivotal. He was pivotal though.
Yeah, he was there and pivotal towards the end, especially. But I'm not. Look. I wanted to love this. I was excited when they announced it. I was ready. I'm buying my ticket early. But Nerd Cookies, man, every time she posts about it, I'm like, it kills just a little bit more of my soul, man. I'm like, I can't do this.
Man, Nerd Cookies be going in on it, man.
Yeah.
She has sapped all my joy from this movie. I'm like,
I understand what you're saying when I see her post. It's just,
I warned everybody.
I thought it was they're not going to screw up Tron. They need a moneymaker, but nope.
I said there was 2 scripts.
Yep.
Did I not? So there's the one that was more like basically a straight up sequel to Tron Legacy. That even had his son and everything back. The other one did not. And it was about a chick who was the fucking key to everything.
Right.
And it took place in the real world because it's cheaper.
I agree. You'd said it.
Delete Ares and bring the user back to me. Got it.
Well, at least he's the one driving the thing and not writing bitch in the back.
Like James Bond.
Yeah, good point. But he is Jared Leto, so he thinks he's Jesus anyway. So.
Which was? To retrieve the code from your disk and delete the carrier.
Dillinger told you to delete me?
Hang on!
Is this the actual? I hope this isn't the actual music in this scene.
I hope so too, because that sounds.
This
awful.
is horrible.
Yeah.
Like, why are they playing elevator music during a chase scene?
No idea. The problem is Leto
That's a chase scene?
It is a chase scene.
That's
yeah.
what I was just thinking. I'm like, this is not the music, right?
I have no idea. This is the clip that was
I know.
released.
Well, that's the thing is 9 Inch Nails is supposed to be doing the soundtrack. I'm like, this. It does sound like some kind of like weird. Like, don't tell me that this is the actual music. Like, I'm hoping that
it is from the scene.
I hope it. I know my point is this. I hope it's like just some fake shit they put in there so we can't hear the 9 Inch Nails score. Fingers crossed. But if that's the 9 Inch Nails score,
no,
oh my
I have
God,
the
that's
9 Inch
horrible.
Nails. I have the 9 Inch Nails clip in a second. The problem with this is the fact that I've never understood Jared Leto is a really good actor, but he just seems to sink everything he's in. I don't know if it's him.
Yeah, I don't get it either, man.
His luck, it's something.
He's a creep. I'll say it.
I don't know anything about him except for acting. Don't know anything about
The
him.
leader of a cult.
Really?
And he's been accused of diddling underage women.
Oh
too,
my God. Okay.
Yeah, it is.
I didn't know
They
that.
have
When James Gunn is calling you out on that freaking says something there.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Yeah, that says a lot, actually.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Scanning quadrants 3 and 4. Sector 18 clear.
Anyway, that's that. And then we have the last one, which is actually Trent Reznor's, which is the only good thing about this is his music, because I'm going to play it just for a few seconds or else they... there we go.
So it's 9 Inch Nails trying to be Das Punk or Daft Punk?
No, I mean that's typical 9 Inch Nails stuff.
Yeah, that sounds like something out of 2000.
Yeah,
I've heard it
9 Inch
before.
Nails. It's 9 Inch Nails. Yeah. Then we
Yeah,
have,
like John Z said, wow, 80s techno.
The promotion of the movie will probably be better than the actual movie itself.
Yeah. Yeah.
Damn.
That's how
They're never going to be able to beat that last soundtrack. I'm sorry. It just ain't going to happen.
Nope, they will not. And then
I
we
just think it's going to be a different soundtrack, man. I mean,
come on. Then what? The 9 Inch Nails?
No. I just mean that 9 Inch Nails and Daft Punk are just two different bands with two
Oh.
different
Oh, yeah.
sounds.
Oh, yeah.
And I love the Daft Punk one. I'm pretty
Mhm.
sure I'm going to love this one because I love 9 Inch Nails. So I just think it's going to be a different sound.
The soundtrack will probably be the best part of the movie.
Oh, absolutely. That's the only thing I'm really looking forward to at this point now.
36. Somebody said, Sander, thank you for that. You caught my attention. I looked over there and I saw your laugh emojis with your statement. Anybody see Peacemaker this week?
Yep.
I didn't see this week's, but I predicted what was going to happen. So I think I know most of what happens. But yeah.
Now, they were talking to Gunn, Deadline and Hollywood Reporter had talked to Gunn about it, What did he think? What is he going to do? And he got off on a tangent, which we'll get to in a second on the Peacemaker. I watched it. It was, that other alternate Earth, which was...
I said it was going to be Planet X or whatever it is. Yeah.
Okay, I was about to say that.
Or Dimension X, is that what it is? I don't know.
It's Earth X.
Earth X. Earth X. Yeah, I couldn't
and
remember.
it was what happened if the Nazis won? They won. So, of course... You see, one of the main characters is the black girl. I can't remember her name. It's
Atabaya or whatever it is.
No,
Adebayo,
her last name. No, it's what's her face's daughter.
Yeah, Adebayo. That's her name.
Adebayo or whatever her name is.
You're talking about Amanda Waller.
Amanda Waller. It's Waller's daughter. That's what I want.
They call her Ads.
Ads.
Yeah.
So they see her. So they see her walking by. Yeah, Adebayo Ads. So they see her. She's there. The whole group, the 11th Street group, goes to the alternate dimension, Earth X, and they're all looking for Peacemaker. And she's like, "I'm gonna go take a walk." She takes a walk down the street. The next thing you notice is Peacemaker's alternate Earth brother is driving his truck, and he stops and he points out and he goes, "One of them got out. One of them got out."
Who says that?
I know.
A black escaped, got out.
The problem is
one got loose. Yeah, one got loose.
One got out.
This is ridiculous.
The problem is, how coincidental do you think this is? What do you guys think? Because we're gonna get into Savant. Y'all have all heard of Savant? Anybody in the audience hasn't heard that?
Oh, yeah. Man, I was looking forward to that.
I was too. That was gonna be a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Hey, X-Ray Girl is rating us. Thank you. Thank you very much for everybody coming over from X-Ray Girl. Yeah, so I was reading all the interviews from Gunn, and here's one. Where does he say? Gunn.
I'm not surprised by this turn because that's what I figured was going to happen.
Yeah.
And I'm not the only one. Quite a few of us did.
Yeah. So Gunn was basically saying, where is it? The authority. No, he's talking about the authority there. Come on, the series shows whatever. Okay. Bottom line, I'll find it in a second. Bottom line, he was saying that no, my little show, it's not going to impact the world and it has no correlation. He's like, when you were writing this, it was during the time of the election. He basically said yes and no. I don't like what I see in the world. So, I write a lot of what I see, and people have become more racist. No, they've just more comfortable being racist. So, of course, he pulled out and he showed in the series how Peacemaker is happiest in this Aryan-based Nazi world where only white people exist. Now, when you think about it on its surface, you're like, okay, they pulled it from a comic, no big deal. But when you start looking at a macro perspective, this is what I want to talk about. And you see that Apple pulled Savant. And then you see what Variety's writer said about pulling the show, an 8-episode series with Jessica Chastain, which was supposed to be about a group and a woman going undercover to catch haters in America, white nationalists, the white man who thinks he owns the country. And you start looking at it, at Charlie Kirk, at everything that's going on, at the church attack today. You start seeing the connected pieces between Hollywood's impact on poisoning the culture. Hollywood is now celebrating assassination culture. That's my opinion.
Well, it's also why Leo's new movie One Battle After Another did so badly in the box office, because it's literally a movie about Antifa.
Yep.
A movie about Antifa being the heroes, right? So no wonder it failed.
Is it really?
Yep.
Yeah, that's what the movie's about.
They They're Antifa, basically killing out all the bad men. The bad men.
Bad timing, really bad timing for that. But yeah, I think people were just sick of it, man. Although I really wanted the Savant to happen.
You did, because if you take it out of context, yeah, you could want it to happen. But what I'm saying is look at everything that Hollywood has been pumping into our system slowly over a period of time. It's not entertainment anymore. I mean, I watched Tulsa King and I was thrilled with season. I was happy to see Sylvester Stallone come back, strutting in his prime. Looks a little bit older this time for some reason than he was in season 2. But I was thrilled to see that. I was entertained. When was the last time
Hollywood's
you were
been
entertained?
like creating? I think what you're saying is that they've been creating like this false idea of what racism in this country and what kind of problems really exist. You know, like the Savant was going to explore all of this right-wing extremism, where in the real world, it's not right-wing extremism that's causing all the problems, is it? It's left-leaning extremism. It's the Antifas. It's the trans, folks that are out there shooting up people and shooting up churches and all that stuff. So it's like, Apple was actually very, very self-aware, in a rare moment of self-awareness, and said, you know what, probably not a good idea. Let's go ahead and pull this one off. Meanwhile, I guess one battle after another didn't have that same self-awareness. They left it out there.
Well, it was too late.
Like
It was too late to pull it.
Yeah, that's a movie, unfortunately. Yeah. No, with the Peacemaker thing, I can understand, because I've enjoyed it more than others, and I can understand if you don't like the show. But I don't know if the Peacemaker is really trying to make some major comment on anything, because if anything, if they're trying to say that the world is more racist now or more comfortable being racist now, then that doesn't really jive with the story, because the whole point is that in the real world, nothing is that big of a problem, because it's not a problem until he goes to this other world, right?
Right.
So, yeah. So that's just telling us that the real world isn't this racist. And we predicted this because in the real world, his dad was basically a complete and utter white supremacist racist.
Right.
So, of course he would be a hero in a world like that. But also we learned that the Peacemaker from that world is probably the worst Peacemaker there ever could be. And this Peacemaker's trying to be the best Peacemaker he can be, right? Kind of like that whole Deadpool thing.
Which Peacemaker is trying to be? You mean the one
that we follow normally through the show is trying to be a good guy, right?
Okay,
like he's trying to be the best he can be.
Yeah.
And the one that he killed though is probably the absolute worst Peacemaker there ever was.
You mean evil?
And here's my thing: is this show is going to come to this head. He's going to have to kill his father again, which he's going to turn around and say, well, that was easier the second time around. He goes, but this is going to be harder the second time around, is when he's got to turn around and kill his brother again.
Ooh,
see, that's where the show's going to lead up to. And I bet you they use a line kind of like that in some way, because I've been kind of predicting this show the whole way up through it. And I could see this coming the whole way. And that makes sense, because Peacemaker's dad was this white supremacist piece of shit. Of course he would be the ultimate superhero in a world where the Nazis won. Right? It makes total sense. To me, it's just it's comic book 101 crap. You can apply modernity to it and stuff that's going on in the real world, but at the same time, I think that whole Planet X story or Earth X story comes from civil rights movement, doesn't it? From initially,
it comes from the comics.
Yeah,
I just found the timing of it, because if he hadn't said anything, I might have thought about it 10% maybe. But when Gunn was saying how his show is too stupid to reflect anything in the world, but he goes at the same time, well, it reflects what I think, that people are more comfortable with racism. So I'm like, you are saying this. Sometimes people need to shut their mouths.
But it doesn't even make sense on Peacemaker's front, because Peacemaker doesn't love that world because of them being white. He loves that world because his brother is alive in that world,
and his dad's not a dick. And
Hardcore actually likes him and treats him with some level.
And Hardcore loves him, and Rick Flag's a little cuck. I think he even used those exact terms.
Yeah, I mean he's. Yeah,
I actually think that the dad is the dad from the other world. That's my opinion.
He killed that guy dead.
No, I don't know. What I'm saying is I think the dad that he killed was the dad from the neo-Nazi
from the
world.
Original world.
Oh.
Yeah, and the father had found it and went there and then trapped.
That's a plausibility. I see where you're coming from, George. Like they swapped spots.
Yeah,
and that's why his dad was as bad as he is, and that's why he's so screwed up. And well, like I said, he's gonna have to kill his dad again, but that's gonna be easy the second time around. And I bet you that's what he's gonna say, because that was easier the second time around. He goes, but this one's gonna be harder.
Like,
killing his brother
my
again.
problem with the show is it's not the show itself, because I'm actually fine with the show. It's low hanging fruit. Right. I mean, it's enjoyable enough. Like I'm not hating on it every episode or anything like that. Actually, it's kind of funny. This past episode is probably the funniest. My problem with it is the tie-ins to Superman, because I'm like,
Yes, I was getting there.
and I get it. It's not like what happened in this past episode
with Luthor.
With Luthor, you don't have to necessarily need to see that to know what's going on in Man of Tomorrow, right? But I hope they just leave it at that, right? That one little scene with Luthor, you don't even have to have seen it. Like if you're a kid,
Right.
you don't have to have seen it. Just know that in Man of Tomorrow, he made some deal before, and he'll probably get let out, or whatever the case may be. I just hope they don't continue with this. It's like bringing more and more like Superman stuff into this.
He said
show,
there wouldn't be if you read
because
the
then it gets to a
article.
point of homework.
Right. Yeah.
And I think he's aware of that, Verbal, because, and I think that was when he was throwing what's his face under the bus, not Kevin Feige, but Esposito, or however you say his name, because they were saying like one of the biggest problems since he left Marvel was that they kept feeding the Disney Plus machine, basically, in so many words. And I think, and he came, and Gunn was there when the TV shows didn't mess with anything, right? You had S.H.I.E.L.D. and you had Agent Carter and stuff like that. They didn't actually affect the movies. Now, S.H.I.E.L.D. could be affected by the movies, right? And I think that's what he's doing here. And that's
it's fine for the movies to affect the TV, but not,
that's what
not,
I'm saying.
not the other way around.
Right. Yeah.
I didn't like Luthor showing up, but I'm glad he was telling Variety.
Well, thanks
that,
for the spoilers. No.
But he did say Superman will not show up, and that David Corenswet was kind of upset when he was talking about. He went on to basically state, "I was surprised by this." I'm just paraphrasing, so we don't have to go through the whole article. They asked him, "How is the Authority coming along?" He's like, "It's not coming along. Very difficult to do. I'd like to do it. How is the Viola Davis? With what's her name? The series. God, I can't remember. Waller. How's it coming along?" He goes, "That's also slow going." Bottom line, Gunn stated that he goes, "I'm going to start making movies with the characters that audiences know." And I was like, my foot this year. I was like, really?
You know what's really funny though about that Authority thing is that if he were going to do the Authority, that should have been in the place of the Justice Gang, right? Because the Authority are ultra violent, and then you have this parallel of Superman having to stop them from being so violent, right? In the movie, if they would have done it that way, but instead they put the Justice Gang in instead of the Authority. So that was his opportunity to use the Authority.
Well, engineers in the Authority.
Weren't they originally supposed to, I was going to say, yeah, they were. I think they were supposed to have a bigger role, and then the engineer was the only one who wound up being in it. Because here's the thing that I'm kind of, and I've said this from the start, and this was kind of the vibe I was getting, or I figured this was going to happen. I'm like, yeah, all this stuff is canon until it isn't anymore.
Right.
And then they kind of are saying that shit themselves. And now James Gunn has flat out said that it's only canon if I turn around and I actually reference it again. Right. So, and that's what I was saying is like, people need to understand, and this is with the whole Henry Cavill not being in Superman thing. And this is why I always say that James Gunn never hired Henry Cavill.
Right.
Because there was still always a plausibility of something else happening with Henry Cavill over here. This Superman project was always over here and had nothing to do with anything else over there. It's just when he took over DC, it did become the main thing. Because his Superman was supposed to be like the Batman, just another Superman movie that had nothing to do with any of the other stuff. So like, and that's, I think the same thing here is that was where he was then. And now that he's in control, he has to kind of reconfigure everything. Right. So it's kind of like resetting some buttons.
Trying to build a universe out of it.
Yeah.
And I don't think he has a real.
I think, I agree with everybody. He should have just, he should have started with Scorched Earth completely.
Yeah.
He should have been like, you know what? I loved the Suicide Squad, and I might use some of these actors again in similar characters or these same roles, but they're not the same. He's just got to flat out say that.
The
He's
reality
got to say
is
they're new versions.
Yeah, the reality is he's I think he made a smart decision. He's only going to force he focus on, he said, characters that the audience knows. Because he realizes we're not back. Yeah, right. They're doing Clayface. Because what I got from it is what he didn't say, but I was taking the subtext. Like, we're not back in phase 1 or 2 of Marvel's time in the country, in the culture where people can go, hey, look at this neat character we've never heard of. He wants to focus on people, on the ones everybody knows. That's the good part.
Well, Clayface isn't something everybody knows. So
but Clayface is only $40 million too.
Right. It's a horror flick. It's a horror flick.
And so it's not built in a sense to where it has to make $1 billion. And they know, and that's the only one. He's one of the only guys right now who's going out and saying that, right? While Disney is spending more money on a comic book movie than ever been spent before. Man. That's the hilarity of it.
It is. By the time Secret Wars is done, I've read 2 reports that say the budget for Doomsday and Secret Wars will be around 1.8 billion to 2 billion, which
I guarantee you, most expensive movies ever
I
made.
can't
I bet you
believe
watch.
that. I can't believe that.
I keep saying Robert Downey Jr.'s paycheck alone is $100 million.
Yeah.
Alone.
That's what I mean. They can't lie about this one, right? They can't deny it. These movies are going to be $300 million each minimum. We're talking just minimum.
Way more than that.
Yeah,
and that's what I'm
500.
saying. I'm being conservative on this verbal, right? Because we're talking, this is just what we know so far, basically. Because we know the Russos are getting 100. We know Downey Jr. is getting 100. And you know, at least half that cast is getting 100 altogether said, right? So like, I mean, because everybody coming back is getting 10, 15, $20 million alone each. Because you guys remember, Paul Rudd got what, 13 or so million dollars just for being in that last Avengers film for like 10 seconds?
Right.
Like whatever it was, maybe a little longer than that, but still. That's the thing with these guys. Every time they're in one of these things, they get paid more than they got paid the last time. And that's why it was a big deal with Brie Larson. And that's why I said we probably won't see a lot of her. And has less to do with the fact that people didn't like her and more to do with the fact that she was the highest paid actress starting out, actor, period, at $5 million in her first movie.
Well, dude, after the Marvels, they're not going to gamble on her anymore.
No, but I mean, I'm saying is they won't bring her back because she's the most expensive one besides Robert Downey Jr. That's my point. Because she started out at such a high range that every time they're in one of these things, it just goes up and up and up and up.
So wait, she's not going to be in Doomsday? Y'all saying she's not going to be in Doomsday?
She might be. I don't know 100%. I have not heard one way or another if she is or not.
She's in this, man. She's in that. And Secret
she
Wars.
probably is, but
yeah, like what do you do with?
But that's my point,
how do you
Derek.
explain that away? Like, hey, we just got rid of her.
That's my point, Derek. Right. That's my point, though. Is these guys are so darn expensive now. There's no way this movie's going to be less than $300 to $500 million baseline just for the actors and Russo brothers.
The real question though is Emilia Clarke going to be back?
What's the name? Gaia.
That's the real question.
Gaia.
And will she have the arm?
Oh God! It won't be an arm this time.
Oh dear God!
Will it be the scroll dong?
Oh Jesus!
It'll be the ditty.
The scroll scrotum.
It'll be
also on topic of this. So Elizabeth Olsen was at Comic-Con yesterday, and her and Paul Bettany were there, and I just wonder because the lines for them were huge, man. They were like out the door. It was crazy. Just to get an autograph or a picture with them. I didn't even bother, but I guarantee you, like within 30 minutes, she was over it, man. Because I guarantee you, they asked her over and over, is she going to be in Doomsday? And she probably got so tired of answering that question.
She's probably
Was
like,
it a yes or no?
Yeah,
She
but I mean,
buy the
she
damn-
probably got to ask that all day.
she was probably like, buy the damn ticket. Next. But we're going to get to the Comic-Con in a second. I just want to show everybody about Savant. I want everyone to understand how Hollywood really thinks. This writer for Variety saw the entire series. And he states, having watched the 8-episode series for review, which was set to be under embargo until September 25th, it's clear that The Savant is precisely the type of show America needs.
Oh, dear
right
God.
now, it looks at a sector of mostly white male individuals who believe that America belongs to them. Fueled by hate, bigotry, xenophobia, and misogyny, they talk cruelly and candidly online about enacting harm and violence towards individuals or others who they feel are unworthy of being in their country. Nowhere in the show does it mention Donald Trump's name, and other than depicting white nationalists in a negative light, The Savant is a straightforward, non-controversial character study and a well-paced thriller about one woman trying to stop domestic terrorism. Then he goes down here, and who does he blame? It seems absolutely maddening that Apple TV Plus would pull such a move, especially following the disaster that ABC, blah, 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 Jimmy Kimmel, over Charlie Kirk. Like Disney, ABC, it seems that Apple TV is cowering to a presidential administration that appears to be more concerned with its own dialogue and viewpoint. As The Savant suggests, if we continue to exist in vacuums, unwilling to hear and listen to others while using logic and sound facts, then we are part of the problem. He goes on to bitch and complain that Donald Trump got it shut down. He's never.
Wow.
I know. That's the point. Didn't say anything.
Trump did it.
I'm
so sick of Trump did it.
Oh, no.
I had nothing to do with
You
nothing.
can't talk to these people. You can't talk to them. They
This is
don't
like
know
Jimmy
anything
Kimmel.
but Trump. He even said, well, they didn't mention Trump anywhere in the show. He says that. So then why are you talking about him?
Yeah.
If they like, what are you talking about him for? Because that's what's on this dude's head. He got Trump derangement on the brain. And that's the problem with half of the country. They think that Trump runs everything.
It's just like with the Jimmy Kimmel thing. Like, there is zero proof. We have yet to have anybody come out and say, yeah, Trump gave us a call and made us feel pressure that we need to take Jimmy Kimmel off the air. We have yet to say anybody say, yeah, Carr or somebody from the FCC called us and said that if we don't do something about this, we're going to be fined or something's going to happen. No, there has not been one person come out and said that. Not one. What happened was stations started pulling out of Sinclair and Nextstar's markets, and they said, we're not going to show this crap anymore. We're tired of it. And then so they're like, all right, fine, we're pulling out. So then they started losing a bunch of sponsors, and that forced ABC to go, okay, fine, we got to pull this whole thing because we got to figure out this whole thing, because at that point they're writing checks back to major sponsors, like Pfizer, speaking of big pharma, right?
My problem is oh, go ahead.
Well, see, wasn't it Stephen Colbert who tied it all back to Trump during one of his opening monologues?
Yes.
It was just like this and this and this, and they have contracts all leading back to Trump. Trump has to make the final decision. It was Stephen Colbert's opening monologue that like completely blamed it all, blamed the cancellation, blamed Disney, blamed Sinclair, blamed all of them, dumping Jimmy Kimmel on Trump. He had like this whole it's like that meme where he's showing the all of the conspiracies all tied back together to Trump. That was basically his opening monologue. He's like, I'm doing this and this and this leads to this and this. All of it ties back to Trump. And like, I feel like after that, everybody started talking about, it all leads back to Trump after his opening monologue. And that's when I was just like, what are you talking about? There's nothing to do with that.
See, and this is why they tried to spin it from the start, right? Because they tried to say, it's because of that joke he said about Trump. It's like, no. The problem here was the lie that he was persisting that this killer was MAGA.
Yeah.
Right? Like, that's the problem. And at that point, and this is the thing with Carr of the FCC is he was basically saying in so many words that for the last few years, they haven't been enforcing this crap. I'm going to start doing the job of the FCC is supposed to be doing in the first place. If they don't start changing their crap, is basically what he was saying. He didn't make any direct threats to anybody. He just said this stuff needs to be addressed. And that's the thing, is if Trump was going to come after any of these people, he'd have done it for jokes months ago.
Oh, God. Yeah, he doesn't care about that. He makes fun of
It has
him.
nothing to do with that. It has to do with the fact that Jimmy Kimmel came out on live network television, live on the air, broadcast television, and persisted a lie that the media had started spinning the week before. And everybody knew was a flat out lie. And that's exactly what Bill Maher said. The same person who ABC took off the air too. The same exact people made the same choice on him.
Yep, I
It was
agree.
so funny because they're like, Trump is such a fascist president. Jimmy Kimmel's back on air talking,
Jimmy Kimmel is toast.
Stephen Colbert's making jokes about Trump. Everybody is making jokes about Trump. Everybody is free to criticize Trump. If we were actually living under fascism, you wouldn't be able to do that. I don't think that these fucking people, understand
Thank you, Steph.
what actual fascism is. They just like throwing out the word because it sounds scary.
Because they don't know what it means. You're right. Jimmy Kimmel had the same free speech rights as everybody else. He could tell jokes on a trash can on Hollywood Boulevard with the beggars. He could do whatever he wanted. You can't break FCC rules, and they've been doing that for 30 years. No one's held him to account. That's the only thing that changed here. The real losers to me are the network affiliates, because they caved. They caved to Disney. Disney didn't give them anything, which means they're no longer representing the culture of their own local communities. And audience is eventually going to bolt. I think Sinclair and Nexstar are going to take it. They're going to be bent over by it. But
I agree with you. And what it is sad is it's them giving up the last bastion of power they do have.
They had
right.
it.
I may not have agreed. I may not have agreed in the past when these stations have exercised that power, but that's not the point. The point is, the fact is they have it for a reason, and it's so that we as America can kind of spread our voice out there and say, no, we're not going to watch this, or no, we don't need this on the airwaves where everybody can watch it. Like, because that's the whole point of this that people don't understand. Because you'll get a lot of, especially people on the left, going, well, what about Fox News this, and what about this pundit that. It's like, yeah, well, guess what? Fox News isn't regulated by the FCC. You can go out and say that Obama, his parents were dolphins, and say it's an actual fact, and nobody can do shit. Right? You can do that all day long. It doesn't matter. On these network airwaves, though, you cannot do that.
Yeah,
you cannot come out there and say a specific lie, whether you're a newscaster, whether you're Jimmy Kimmel, or whether you're Kermit the Frog. It doesn't effing matter. If it's not a drama, you cannot come out there and present it as an actual statement. You just cannot.
Yeah, but the thing is Disney has a taxpayer-funded broadcast license with a legal duty to serve the public interest.
Exactly.
That's why Kimmel only had a ratings night, one night, and then it crashed back down. That's it. But this is
Did it go 70% he lost?
Yeah, 70% by Wednesday night. So he's toast. He's just counting time now. But it's funny. I wanted to see, I'm digging more into the Hollywood mentality. I found this article. I just had to share the headline. Kumal Nanjiani, this was from 2024, says he started seeing a therapist because of bad Eternals reviews. I have trauma from it.
I thought it saved lives.
Could you believe an actor saying he goes on to the trauma he suffered from reading reviews?
Well, and Katie Sackhoff said that she forgot how to act because of Star Wars. Did you see that?
No. But could you imagine going to a therapist? I got bad reviews.
And you know what the irony is about that, George, is that he got the best reviews. Like people were saying the movie sucked, but he was okay.
Yeah.
So like he didn't even get like the brunt of it.
Right. He even got the better reviews in that recent Ghostbuster movie too.
You poor rich actor.
Yes,
right?
Steph said it perfectly.
But yeah, for you.
And now we have the LA Comic-Con. I've been reading Star Wars Gold's Post, been watching Dante. I couldn't believe some of these things. Guys, y'all aren't going to believe this. By the way, hit the like. We've been at like 650, 700 people, and we need to get more likes. And share this with everybody.
I'll show my tits.
No.
Nope.
No.
Can't
this
do that.
was.
If you don't hit that like, I will.
It's a threat.
Yeah, this was LA's Comic-Con. I couldn't believe. I thought Anna was screwing, around like she made.
Speaking,
this up.
Chris is in the chat right now. I just saw him.
Hey, Chris. Hey, Chris.
Gay geeks and where to find them?
Yeah, 6 to 7 p.m.
So it's a dating session or what?
Afro weirdness and the urban superhero.
What the fuck? That sounds racist. That's racist.
Trans-masculine representation and entertainment panel.
Oh my God.
That's an oxymoron. That's an yeah.
Yeah, dude. These were these were all ridiculous, man. We only went to one of them though, because I can only stomach one. Anna's crazy. She went to go to more, but I'm like, no, I can't do this.
No, brother. It's great to see you, Chris. I'm so sorry that we have to do something to help Chris get a panel at LA Comic-Con. It was bullshit.
Well, what's crazy about that for me, man, is this, dude. Chris
my language.
Film Thread has been a part of LA Comic-Con almost since it started. Right. And he has always had a panel there. Right. And in one way or another, it got to the point where they were giving him 2 and 3 panels every year. Right. Same thing with San Diego Comic-Con. Same thing with WonderCon. All of a sudden, man, like they just blacklisted us, man. It was like and I remember I could pinpoint when it happened. It happened 2 years ago when we had Gary and we had Ripa on the panel. And by the way, biggest panels they've ever had. Like standing room. There was standing room in these panels, right?
And they got angry
made
because
everybody
of that?
else look bad.
We had a bigger panel than Kevin Smith did.
That's why, because you made Kevin Smith look bad and you made him fucking cry. That's why.
We had a bigger panel than Kevin Smith. And you would think after something like that, we are guaranteed a panel every year. Nope. In fact, we were blacklisted right after that.
Wow.
Well, and didn't Chris, forgive me if I'm wrong, as far as I know, because I think I've seen videos of him too, where he hosted other panels besides that, where like movie reunion panels and other things like that too.
Right, and that's all we did was movie stuff, man. We didn't even do anything super crazy. It was all like independent film, this and that.
I mean, that he was asked to outside of Film Thread. But yeah.
I mean, we did do a panel called "Why Movies Suck," right? Why movies today suck, and that was one of the biggest panels we ever had.
Nothing's wrong with that.
And there's nothing wrong with that. That's just our opinion, right? But it was after that where all of a sudden we were a threat to
problematic.
I'd rather go to that one than trans men and where to find them.
Ding dong dingalings are us.
You know what? You know what, Steph? You're not alone because that panel was empty.
Oh, I bet it was. Why would anybody want to go to that? Queer sci-fi on a budget. What? Come on.
Wait. You got to hear these descriptions, though. Okay. How do you bring a queer sci-fi project to life without a studio? Well, you shouldn't. And anyway, but in this conversation, filmmaker and VFX artist Alden Peters shares how he built a widely imaginative film series that blends speculative fiction with identity, history, and chosen family. It goes on. You'll leave fired up, full of tricks, ready to make queer art. Sorry, no, it's okay. You'll leave fired up, full of new tricks, ready to make weird queer art with whatever you've got.
Give me a break, yeah.
And they think people want to go to these panels. They think the average comic book movie fan wants to go and see this panel.
George,
here's what I think. Here's what I think, because they're talking about chosen family. They're looking for people just like them, so that they can further brainwash them. Like that. It feels like recruiting. That's what it feels like.
Well, it's not just that; it's also a dating thing, because they can't find normal people like them to date, according to their normality.
So this is the video I took of the queers and sports comics panel.
Most of y'all are there there because you don't want to be there.
Look at Marmalade. What the hell's going on?
I was not enjoying that at all, man. I was like,
it's almost as many panelists as there are audience members.
I love
you asked a question. You should have.
Yeah. Did you ask anything? Did you?
I had to make a judgment call because I was going to, and I'm like, you know what, man. Today's a day of peace. I'm not going to be that guy today.
Oh,
I just got to say this though. Every time I see Verbal in a picture video outside of this setting, he always seems like he's the coolest motherfucker in the room.
Yeah.
He's just looking at everybody else like, you don't know what I deal with on a daily basis.
You know what's going through my head actually when I shot that was the reason I was shaking my head. It's because literally we got denied, but that got approved.
Of course.
Yeah.
Do they give a reason? Do they say why? Approved? Do they say why they denied it?
Oh no, they won't give us a reason.
It's the same reason I can't get Coke to sponsor me. Damn it! I made a new drink.
But
Coke
here's the thing.
coffee.
Again, it's not just LA Comic Con. It's WonderCon. It's San Diego. It's like they all kind of.
They don't want
Chris got his panel at San Diego. He got his panel at San Diego because I was down there.
Yeah, he got a panel only because someone else bailed out last minute.
The reality is you tell the truth. You don't cater to Hollywood. They don't want Chris on because he doesn't cater. He's
That's
honest.
what I'm saying, man. We got to get our own. We got to get our own cons. It's time. We got enough support all over. Just on YouTube alone, we got enough support. It's time to start putting our own cons together. I want to see.
Yeah.
I want to see a Texas convention. I don't know if we can do something with Film Threat out here in LA, but we need to start doing our own shit.
We should.
It's beyond that point.
Did you see that tweet that Benny Johnson replied to, saying that we should get Chris Score? I think it was what did
There's
they
a lot
call
of
it?
people that replied to that.
Nerdroticon, saying we should partner with Turning Point, throw our own cons,
Zach
get
Levi
Levi involved
with blackjack and hookers.
Everybody was like, "Hell yeah, we're ready.
Let's
ready."
do this.
Absolutely. Yeah, make it happen. Let's make it happen. Shit.
With blackjack and hookers, I'm all there. Let's go.
No,
everybody could do their meetups. It'd be dope, man. I would love it.
It's not that kind of con, Tom.
It'll be just like Comic-Con, but with blackjack and hookers. Let's go.
man.
But these rest of these description for the panels are just.
Hey, we do it in Vegas, and you don't have to supply that. That comes for free.
These were the panels that they were offering, man. And don't get me wrong, there were some normal panels, but it's just I just can't believe we got denied for this.
Right.
Transmask. This is the biggest one I love here. This is the biggest oxymoron I've ever seen in my life. Transmasculine representation entertainment.
And here's the thing, man. Comic-Con has always been inclusive, right? Always, right? You have your furries and they have their group and they do their thing. You have guys dressing up as female characters. That's always been a part of Comic-Con. And you know what? It's never been a problem. But all of a sudden now, right, it has to be like this forced thing.
Right. Well, it's no different than what happened at it's cringe. It's the same way. Did y'all hear about Serena Williams this weekend?
Oh yeah.
Oh, the cotton thing.
The cotton. I was like, how are you worth $100 million and you go into a hotel which looks pretty much like a Pier 1 Imports designer? Like someone was like, hey, I saw this in a catalog and they picked it. Well, come on. She's at a 5-star New York hotel, and Serena Williams turns around and she sees all of a sudden a vase with cotton in it and is upset.
All right, everyone. How do we feel about cotton as decoration? Personally, for me, it doesn't feel great.
She's not picking cotton. It's just a vase.
The biggest sin of that is that was in style in 1988. That's the biggest sin of that right there. That's it.
I know, but is anybody else offended by this? Because I couldn't
Nobody
wrap my
else is
head
offended
around
by this, except people that want to be perpetual victims on everything.
Exactly.
Even a millionaires is like, oh, I'm so hurt by this cotton. Like, why? Why?
What's the
You're not.
point?
You've never had to do anything close to picking cotton. All right, you've been famous your whole life. Get the fuck out of here.
I know, it's nuts.
So,
and she dyes her hair blonde.
Yeah, she got the nerve to have a blonde. Like, what the hell is wrong with you? This chick got blonde hair. She's what, $300 million, and you worried about a cotton decoration? What is wrong with these people, man? These people are insane.
While she's wearing the Karen
And what
jumpsuit thing there.
But what's the glove for? I just noticed that one hand glove. Is that she thinks she's like Michael?
She's holding. I think she's holding her other glove.
actually, it feels like
Oh, it's no.
No.
no polishing for cotton.
That's that's what's this part is what's funny to me is that she went straight to I'm putting it on my nails, to take off my nail polish, because that's literally the only thing that she would associate with cotton, not slavery, right? She's just like, oh my gosh, I want to make a political statement, but in her own mind, she doesn't even equate that to slavery. She's like, it's nail polish. I use it to remove nail polish because that's the only experience or one of the only experiences that she's ever had with cotton. She can't go back to those days because she was never oppressed, and she's still not oppressed. She just wants to pretend to be some sort of oppressed figure living in a victimized mindset, and she can't even do that. She can't even do that. Why? Because towards the end, she doesn't say like, I have this opinion. She asks her audience, what do you think? What do you think? Because she can't even form her own opinion.
She still sounds like a man, though, too. I don't know.
Well, and that's the most ridiculous thing is hearing when you see somebody like her saying this kind of crap, right? Because they make more than my rent is in a year, in a week,
or
right?
in an hour.
And then they try and pretend, or in an hour in some cases. You're not wrong, and they pretend they're repressed in some way. It's like you don't even know what real repression is. And I mean, I brought this up before too, and I think I brought this up once with Verbal. So I was talking to this older black guy one time that is a friend of the family, and he said these kids nowadays don't even know what real racism is.
No,
they don't even know what real repression is. He goes, I used to walk around in the street and you used to hear, hey, little N boy, and you weren't even supposed to react in a negative way. You're just supposed to come over and say see what that adult wanted, because that's just the way they addressed you then. He's like, that's the kind of thing I grew up with. These kids don't know what the hell they're going through.
No,
like,
but it's just funny. It's just funny to hear her talk about it. I think the most normal thing that I heard this weekend when it comes to Hollywood culture was Vincent D'Onofrio. I would have loved to have been at the panel because he was at LA Comic-Con and he shared.
Actually, he bailed out. He canceled last minute.
What was this then that they just posted? Is that not it?
No, I mean that's he probably showed up. He showed up later. He missed the signing. I'm sorry. He missed
because he said he wanted to play Swamp Thing.
You want to sink your teeth into? I've always been attracted to people that are broken, and he's like broken.
He lost some weight. Look
not
at
only heartbroken, but his whole life broken to a million pieces. And he's like, it's like the Hunchback of Notre Dame. It's like, he's not attractive. He lives in a swamp. It's tough, and he's in love, and that's that's an incredible thing. So the idea, and also the narration, if you remember all the words, he was so emotional and at times so touching. I couldn't believe it when by the time the run of Swamp Thing that I read I was in my late 20s or 30s already, something like that. But I think it's just his emotional life. I think is what's attractive. I'm never going to get the chance to play it.
I wouldn't say
just
never. The problem is that Vincent never got cast as Swamp Thing. Vincent being Vincent, 6 months before shooting was supposed to start, he would lodge himself in a swamp somewhere. And when the
I think that's funny. But I was happy to see that. And we're going to wrap up a little early. I have one more thing to show, and then we'll be done. Two more things, actually. We'll leave on Erica Kirk. But I wanted to show you this crazy thing. There is a Florida state attorney who's called Monique Worrell. And she has been lambasted by the Attorney General of Florida because her prosecutor that works for Monique Worrell refused to prosecute a 60-year-old man who was in a park in front of a child doing something horrible.
Oh man!
And people took pictures of it. This is her response. The response is the worst thing I've ever heard.
All things that are wrong are not illegal. And I'm not standing.
Let me repeat that. All things that are wrong are not illegal. As in someone whacking their tallywhacker in front of people they shouldn't be.
Last time I checked, that was pretty illegal.
That is very illegal. I can understand that she was talking about like something like stripping, right? It's like, yeah, stripping is probably not the most moral thing for a woman to do, but it's legal. That's something very different than what this guy was doing.
Right. Yep, it's horrible.
Before you today, telling you that what happened in that park was wrong. But I am standing before you today telling you that I trust the word of the attorney who was assigned to this case when he said, although those actions were wrong, he could not prove beyond a reasonable doubt that they were illegal. All things that are wrong.
Does indecent exposure not exist in Florida?
I was going to say, in fact, if there was minors involved, verbal, in most cases, that's even a whole nother set of charges, actually.
Oh, yeah. It does.
I don't understand it. Where is this at?
Florida. This is why the Attorney General of Florida wants to remove her. They have told her, you're either going to go out and find another attorney to prosecute or we're going after you. And she's trying to because she was backed by Soros. This is, again, one of these leftist prosecutors who's out there not to prosecute crime. They have a video of the guy doing it. The family, one of their cousins, took a video of it and they submitted that. But they said, oh, it's not really illegal. It's just ugly. So
what?
Wow.
Yes, it's another situation.
Wild.
I'm reading it. Look, I'm reading it here. It says
used to be arrested. Flashers used to be arrested.
Yep.
Like this is just more of like I honestly think they have a secret agenda
They
to
do.
bring in maps and make it fine. Totally fine, totally completely okay. Minor attractive persons, it's not illegal anymore. We've legalized it. It's totally fine. It's totally fine. This right here kind of makes me think that is some sort of wicked, evil, sick, twisted secret agenda of these people to bring in maps and make it a part of the LGBT whatever.
Oh yeah, it is.
That's the plus at the end. That's what they're pushing for. That plus at the end is going to include them.
But that's why LGB has been breaking away.
Yeah, they don't want to be lumped in with them. Yeah. No, it says Florida Statute 800.03, the exposure of certain organs in a vulgar or indecent manner is charged as a first-degree misdemeanor. Prosecutors must prove the act was intentional, that the person's genitalia were exposed, and that it happened in public where people could see them. So it sounds like it was on video. Sounds like it was recorded. Sounds like everything, it lines up. So I don't know what this judge is doing.
Right. Like I said, in minors, when you get minors involved, that's even a whole nother.
Yeah, they said, and then you could add on additionals for the minors. Exactly.
Yeah.
So that's why I wanted to bring that to everybody's attention to watch it. the last two things, this is going on in the UK, and I want you to realize my camera fritzed out. By the way, I'm trying a new camera this week. So you're just going to see the avatar for a moment. In the UK, another man was sent to prison for 2 years for a Facebook post. Just listen for a moment what he wrote. He didn't.
What the hell is he wearing?
I can't take that seriously, just strictly off of that. I can't take
I
that
love this
seriously.
Monty Python episode.
Judge, you know, they have to wear
What the
that.
hell are y'all doing out there in the UK?
This is my favorite
They've
Monty
always done
Python
that. That's
skit.
their traditional, like.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Y'all got to get it together, man. We ain't in the 1920s. What the hell is that?
It's
19. This is like 17.
It almost looks. See, that's the thing is,
Big ass
the sad
white
part about
eye.
this is that they actually used to get really expensive wigs and have like the whole thing and get up and everything. This looks like the fucking Temu version of that. That's the
It
sad part.
does,
That's why we're
dude.
fucking laughing at it.
He
Like,
looked
that's
like
why
an
it's so
anime
bad.
character, man. He looked
Yeah,
like
it looks like you picked this up at fucking Spirit Halloween or some shit.
Crazy guys. Listen,
Like
in,
JoJo's
what-
Bizarre Adventure kind of shit.
Right.
That's a good one.
Like I said, I love this Monty Python skit.
I love the tradition. Personally, I love the tradition. I enjoy
I
it.
don't mind
It-
it. I don't mind
It's part of their
it.
root
Yeah, but-
history, but they're just the judges are betraying it. These magistrates. Listen
Yeah.
to what he's stating. What the guy wrote. Again, it's important.
To a post questioning why you wrote, because they're over here, given life of Riley, off the tax us hard-working people earn, when it could be put to better use. Come over
Basically, the guy was complaining about illegals coming into the country and that they're given everything by the state.
here with no work visa, no trade to their name, and sit down and DOS. And then there's more people being put out homeless each year. They get top band priority on housing. You went on to say that you did not want your money going to immigrants who, quote, rape our kids and get priority, end quote. Although you said that you had no intention of carrying out any act of violence, there can be no doubt that you were inciting others to do so.
All he did was complain. So he got 2 years. So to make a long story short, he got 2 years for that. Here's the thing. This happened days before you had Slippery Starmer, the Prime Minister of the United Kingdom, made this announcement this week. It's very important because this is the UK is now moving fully into Agenda 30. If you don't know what that is, please go look it up. He made this announcement yesterday. No, 48 hours ago.
And that is why today I am announcing this government will make a new free of charge digital ID mandatory for the right to work by the end of this parliament. Let me spell that out. You will not be able to work in the United Kingdom if you do not have digital ID. It's as simple as that. Because decent, pragmatic, fair-minded people, they want us to tackle the issues that they see around them. And of course, the truth is, we won't solve our problems. And that—
Did you believe that? They're moving forward with making a global gulag, a digital one, so they can monitor and track everyone.
That's crazy, man. Have you seen some of the videos on how they track people with digital ID in China? And they can pretty much like map you anywhere you go, They can watch you walking across the street and they'll have access to your bank account, what you're spending money on, everything. They'll have access to that one single digital ID. And if they're instituting that in the UK, and now it's going to get to the social credit score where, oh, you know what? You said the wrong thing on this and that. Now we're about to make sure that you can't travel anymore. You won't have access to buy a home. You might not be able to get a loan. They'll just like completely restrict your accounts.
It is, but we have
your
to
life.
We have to stand up to this. We have to stand up to this. Steph's got to get going, and we only have a minute left. Steph, do you want to tell anybody what you want to share, what you're doing today?
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, I have a gaming stream coming up. Me and Disbrew game. He's an excellent gamer. I'm pretty bad. So it's kind of entertaining. But that's usually what I do on Sundays. After that, I have Talk Nerdy. It's me and OG Mara Jade. We swap on our channels. We go back and forth. So today it's on her channel. And usually after the gaming stream, I direct everybody over to that. And we go over all of the topics of the week, the past 2 weeks. And, you know, we just take the shit out of people, honestly.
I like that. I love that. Well, thank you for always joining us, Steph. Always love
No
having you here.
problem. All right. Thanks for having me. Bye-bye.
Awesome.
Cheers, Steph.
Awesome. So the thing is he's going to implement this digital ID system. It was always been part of UN Agenda 2030, and they're moving forward with it. It took a while, but everybody stood up during COVID, and eventually that ended, because I don't think that crap would have ended if we hadn't stood up. I think everybody needs to stand up to this, because if they force this through, come on, you're screwed. It's going to be the China all over, but everywhere. Everywhere.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. If one of the countries in the West get it, everybody's going to get it. And then that's it. So, yeah, the UK seems to be the testing ground right now for free speech. So I think if you're in the UK, you better stand up for free speech, because the rest of the world is watching. And if you guys go down, man, that's going to be real trouble for the rest of us.
Absolutely. And y'all remember Gendy Tartakovsky, who did Primal and Samurai Jack?
Oh, yeah.
Well, he's asking for everybody's help. He's kind of doing what Ryan Reynolds did with Deadpool. He released this clip because he's looking for a studio. So he's asking everybody, like, share it everywhere. Do whatever you can. It's called The Black Knight. It's 51 seconds. He wants this to be his next project. He's been trying to do it for a long time.
Sold.
I love Primal. Love Primal. Well, all right. I'm going to read these super chats and we're out of here. Fletcher, let's bring him up. Okay. Oh, I gifted 5. Well, that's cool. That's from my heart to all of you. Bucky Cat. For $5, George, check out ETIAS. This stuff is being extended to U.S. citizens visiting Europe. I didn't know that it applied to U.S. citizens, but I will. Thank you, Bucky. Really appreciate that. James, for $5, I won't be surprised when they start making victim videos about the cotton on cotton swabs. Oh, God.
It's ridiculous.
It's just that she's worth, what, 150 million, something like that?
Something like that, yeah.
And it's an insane amount. And she's just, it's like she was bored. Oh, nobody's paying attention to me today. Let me make a video. PM, a member for 9 months. When we getting Dante or DA on FNT? Soon, I hope. I don't know. You got to ask Gary.
Not up to me, man.
Man, I want to go. I got to ask Chris. I want to go back on Versus. I miss you guys over there. I would love to.
Through, man, it's fun.
I would love to. Eric K for $5. They insulted Jeremy Renner with an observed contract. I do not think he'll be back. Yeah, I don't think he's coming back either. But I also don't think that Hemsworth is going to be coming back after this. I think he's going to be done. And I want to leave everyone with this. Charlie Kirk is not with us, but he still lives. Erica Kirk shared this the other day, the last video. And I think it's an important one because she's showing how they are moving forward. Even though it's a sad time, she's picked up, she's picking up the pieces as best she can and she's moving forward. It's just a minute. I think it shows the ability. My whole life I've lived by 2 major principles. One was by an old Latin saying called dum spiro spero, dum spero spero, which is as long as I hope I breathe, as long as I breathe I hope. And the other one is always forward. No matter what, you move forward. Always. About 5 days ago, I'm working on this new video format to put videos out every day. I've just about nailed it.
Oh, George, really quick, by the way, there's I guess information about that shooter came up.
Tell me, please.
They have his ID.
Yeah. What is he? You got it?
I'm putting it right here in the chat right now. Here it is.
Cool. Always good. That's important. What is he? Who is he?
Thomas Jacob Stanford is his name.
Thomas Jake. Oh, they're gonna say he's. I'm guarantee you. You know what?
They're gonna say he's MAGA for sure.
There he is. Breaking Michigan church shooter. Idea is 40-year-old Thomas Jacob Sanford, a U.S. Marine veteran. That must be from the New York Post, NYP. Let's see what the New York Post has to say. New York Post. New York Post breaking. There we go. Face off of. Okay, here it is. Face of Matt. Come on. You know, my nephew is now been there 2 weeks in basic training boot camp. In December, he will graduate Marine. Where did you go? Have you found anything where it says why? Here it is. Okay. Here we go. We'll read it together. Iraq war veteran Thomas Sanford ID'd as gunman who attacked Grand Blanc LDS Church, killing 2 and setting it ablaze. The deranged madman who killed at least 2 people, oh my God, 2 are dead. I thought they said only wounded, and wounded 8 others at a Michigan Latter-day Saints church before setting it ablaze is 40-year-old Thomas Jacob Sanford rammed his Chevy Silverado truck into the building before opening fire on the worshipers at a Sunday service, Grand Blanc Township, Michigan. Okay, he also set the church ablaze, causing the entire structure to burn down. Authorities fear there may be more victims in the fire. That is the worst way to go, burning to death. A Facebook post by Sanford's mother says the gunman who died at the scene in the shootout with cops served in Iraq from 2004 to 2008. He was killed minutes after the first 9/11 call came in. A Department of Natural Resources officer and local township cop responded to the scene in about 30 seconds. Okay, did he leave a note behind? The source of the blaze wasn't known. Cops said there were hundreds of worshipers. Social media accounts believed to be connected to Sanford show he's a family man with a wife and young son. Man, some of this starts making me believe that it's that, what's that project? Was it Project Phoenix? Where the CIA would brainwash people, or Mockingbird?
No, it was called something else, wasn't it? I can't put my.
You know what I'm talking about, though.
I do, though. Yeah.
Yeah.
Look at this. It says a dormant GoFundMe page from 2015 raised more than $3,000 for the couple's now 10-year-old son who was born.
Yeah, MK Ultra, I think it was.
MK Ultra. Yeah. Thank you, Blitzen. Blitzen, always brilliant. Always coming in with the save. So they even raised money for their son. Pictures from Sanford's Facebook page shows the family smiling, posing in the beds of pickup trucks or in a field of tall sunflowers. An unnamed witness told Fox 2 Detroit that the attack started at about just after the congregational hymn, when hundreds of people were inside the building for the 10 a.m. service. We at first thought someone had accidentally crashed in the truck, so we went out to help him. Could you imagine? They rushed out to help him and they probably got shot. Sleeper cell. Good one, Borg. Could be it. Yeah, you wouldn't suspect someone like that. He started shooting at me.
Joyce, I gotta get right.
Okay.
My thing, but anyway,
No
guys,
problem.
good hanging
See
out.
you,
with
Dante.
Have a wonderful day, my friend. I'll see you next week. What do you think? What do you think, DA? It's kind of weird.
It's weird, man. Yeah, because if he's a family man, it's not like he was a loner and he didn't have much of a life. That's usually what you see with a lot of these cats. But it sounds like
he doesn't fit the incel narrative anyway.
Yeah. So, I mean, they're going to obviously do some more. Look, what I always do is I just wait for all the evidence and the information to come out. And, I don't try to jump to any conclusions, because guess what? Whatever you're thinking is probably wrong. And it's probably going to go in a direction you never expected it to. Like, I didn't think transgender and furry were going to be a part of Charlie Kirk's. I just didn't think that. But here we are, so I just say, hey, everybody, don't rush to judgment. Just let all the information come out. Usually the people that rush to judgment, they end up with egg on their face. They end up looking stupid in the next couple of days as they, this is what was going on, but yeah, man, it's such a tragedy, man. Like, people going to church, you think you're safe. You think, you're just going to worship. And then something like this happens, it's ridiculous. And I hope they figure it out and figure out how to stop it. That's the main thing.
I agree. And here are the words I was going to share as we go out of here. It was
I just wanted to say real quick, I think the thing that bothered me most was that every picture we've seen of the individual so far, they do this every time, right? They pick pictures of them hunting and doing other things that are mostly seen as conservative. So then it's hard to change that narrative as we keep going. Yeah.
Yeah, they do
if
that
it isn't
purposely.
true.
Yeah, they do that purposely. Good point. That's what Eric.
We have unused material from speeches that he's had that no one has heard yet. We have Sunday specials lined up to the brim because my husband was so intentional about making sure that there was enough content. Always.
He made sure we recorded everything.
Everything.
He would not do a speech unless we could get the video and the
100%. So we have speeches that no one's heard of. We have interviews that no one's heard of. We have stuff from Korea and Japan that no one's heard of.
Podcasts.
So, I mean, in the words of my husband, buckle up, because there is a lot of content to be had. And we have so many amazing things down the pipeline that we are working on currently that will
unveil in due time.
I am so excited.
Yeah.
And so,
and by the way, those are things Charlie himself
that he wanted.
He wanted. We were working on some big things, right up until the end, and we've talked about that a lot. Like a lot of the guiding vision that we're using right now to kind of steady the ship and figure out where we're going is the things Charlie himself
100%.
Told us where we were going.
100%. And similar with Turning Point USA, Charlie had a plan moving past 2030 that he's shared with the team and has implemented. So we're not going anywhere.
We have the blueprints.
We have the blueprints. We have our marching orders, and we are just remaining humble and grateful to God, and we're remaining just stewards to what God has blessed us with. And I know Charlie's going to continue to guide us, and the Lord will continue to guide us. And I just wanted to let everyone know that this is far beyond any of us sitting in these chairs. This has nothing to do with us. It never will. The glory all to God on that front. And I just am excited. It's weird to say excited, but it's also very surreal to say it, because I know that God will use all of this in a way that will glorify him, further Charlie's legacy. And Charlie's up in heaven just having...
He's rooting us on. I know that.
He's so rooting us on.
I think that's... she's got a lot of strength, and it shows what she's made of. I'm glad that they're moving forward, not stopping. There are reports coming out. There are reports coming out that they're going to be Turning Point USA chapters now in high schools all across the country. So maybe we're going to be able to reverse all the propaganda and damage. All right, everybody. Thank you for showing up. All your support. DA, what you got to share with everybody?
DA's office tonight, 8 p.m. Come hang out with us. We'll be chopping it up, talking about all these same topics in entertainment. And then, of course, we do the nightcap Tuesdays and Thursday evenings. Once again, we'll be covering Peacemaker on Thursday. And then, of course, daily videos every day. Thank you very much, George, as usual. Always a pleasure.
Always, my friend. What do you have, Tom, coming up? Tom.
Uh-oh. Sorry. The morning show is moving. It should be moving to our new time tomorrow at 9 a.m. Central, 10 Eastern. So join us on Midnight's Edge in the morning. And that's what I'll be up to next, I believe.
Beautiful. Thank you. Oh, we got 2 more super chats. Penny, member for 4 months. Beware, Revelations 13:17. UK headed that way. I hope not. I hope enough people, Penny, can stand up, and I'm going to keep talking about it. And keep a watchful eye. I have a new video format that I'm going to try, where I'm going to start doing breaking news. Not breaking news. That would be the wrong term. I'm going to do news every day or every other day. It's not about being first. It's just not the way my brain works. But it's going to be about being right. Because you notice that the news, as we all do, you get headlines which come out fast, but they're flawed. CNN, this is what happens. And then an hour later, 2 weeks later, we just found this out, and they don't repeat it 10,000 times. So keep watching the channel. You haven't seen videos for the last 3 weeks because I'm working on this new format. But once it's there, we're going to have like a Slayer Raw every day for about 10 to 15 minutes. But thank you, Penny. Also, Blitzen with a beautiful show. I have a clip that's coming out for you this week. Thank you, my good friend. He gifted 10 George the Giant Play membership. Thank you. That means the world to me. And everybody, please go thank Blitzen. And as I was saying a little bit before I played Eric Kirk, her video, there are 3 things that now guide me in my life. 2 were as long as I hope I breathe. And the second one is always forward. You just always move forward. But this week, I had a discussion with someone, and they were complaining about politics and culture and life. And I was like, okay, I found my my little triumvirate of beliefs that moves me every day. And it was decisions are made by those who show up to the fight. You don't show up, you can't complain because you're not in it. So I love you all. Thank you for all your support. Please thank Istaphobos, Eric K, Lord Thoth, Fletcher Williams is in the back producing, and all these incredible ladies and gentlemen who joined us today. Remember, if you want to make the world a better place, just to live your best life, decisions are made by those who show up to fight. They don't bend, they don't break, they don't stop. They just charge always forward. Love you all. Have a blessed week.